before. I've been involved with Miriam now for 4 going on 5 years. In fact, in October, it'll be my 5-year anniversary. My husband, John, and I, who's in the background getting a refill on coffee, our background prior to Miriam is we've been in medical sales. In fact, got into cosmetic medical sales when I was way too young to know what a wrinkle was. I think I was 26 years old when I got into cosmetic medical sales, lucky me. But I've been in the industry of anti-aging since that time. Love anti-aging as an industry. And I mean, fundamentally, if you're getting started with Miriam, you're getting restarted with Miriam, you're kind of evaluating your level of involvement with Miriam, the ability to capture a piece of the anti-aging business. And Miriam International is a company with anti-aging technologies inside and outside now. The ability to capture a piece of that business at a sliver of a price tag is crazy. In fact, the cost to become a Miriam brand partner is between $500 and $1,000. What you'll really pay is the price of owning whatever size business you want in the form of time contribution, and in the form of contacts, number of people that you put in to the pipeline. But, I've loved the space of anti-aging. In fact, so much so, that in 2004, my husband and I purchased a medical spa. It was actually a franchise medical spa because we were watching doctors, build a business. It would cost about $15,000 to $20,000 a month to run the business. But if you did 25 to 30,000 in sales, you'd make $5,000. And literally that was the proposition to most physicians. We would have ER doctors, OB-GYNs, family practice doctors, still to this day, opening medical spas with an overhead in the, 10 to 20 to 30,000 to operate. The goal being to net $5,000 a month. That was the goal. And on that we sold. In fact, my husband, I sold medical equipment and we bought a franchise. He actually sold franchises. And so, we went out every day pitching doctors on opening these businesses. So we actually took out a $250,000 loan to open our franchise. Cost us about $20,000 a month or so to keep the doors open. And we were in the red up until about the 23rd, 24th of the month. And then after that, hopefully we had broken past that $20,000 mark and now we were starting to make money. And I mean money in the hundreds and lucky months in the thousands, but you couldn't spend it anyways because the next month you had to make sure you could cover payroll. So, but I say all of that, you think about the risk I was willing to incur to capture a piece of this anti-aging puzzle. And that was many years ago. It's much bigger today even than it was then. So anyways, we sold that business thankfully after a couple of years. You can probably see right now I have a lot of gray hairs. The vast majority I acquired during that season. It kept me on my knees before the Lord, I can assure you that. But I actually got introduced to the direct selling industry back in 2008 when a friend handed me a product. I fell in love with it and they said, you can share product with people and get paid. At that point, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had left medical sales arena, was looking to really kind of find contentment in changing diapers and washing bottles. And what I found is I was very, very busy, but I was still looking for something to kind of keep me engaged intellectually. And so that, honestly, that's what provoked me to start doing what the direct selling industry was something I could pick up. Most of my friends had hobbies where they would spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on scrapbooking retreats and redecorating a room. And then when they got done redecorating one room, they'd go room to room to room. And then by the time they got to the main room, it was time to do it again. And I did my husband a favor and I picked up a hobby that would make me money instead of cost money. And so that is what brought me into the industry. It was a few months into it that I realized, hey, there's real income available here. But there's only real income available here if you're willing to kind of put into practice some fundamental philosophies in the business. And today's what we're doing is we're going to talk about some of those fundamental philosophies. But I'll just say this. When I got started, I started as a hobby. When I started Miriam, even I started hoping that it would actually produce something for us. I wasn't terribly convinced it would, to be frank with you. When I joined in my first, I would say 3-4 weeks, I was, crossing my fingers and my toes. In fact, I joined on the 23rd of October, and I remember getting a phone call on the 31st of October from my sponsor. And it was Halloween. I had children in the car. We were going from grandma's house where we'd done trick-or-treating at 3 in the afternoon back to the neighborhood where we would do trick-or-treating all evening. And he was like, you could earn your car, like pounding on me to be like, you've got 4 hours. I said, listen, I'm just dabbling. Don't put pressure on me to earn the car, because I don't want to earn the car. I want to dabble. And I really believe what I was saying at that time wasn't that I didn't want to earn the car. I mean, who doesn't want to qualify for a car? It's that I didn't want to put myself at risk of hoping this could be something more than hobby income. I had already been disappointed. And so I didn't really have the courage to go for it, and to really cut loose. And about mid-November, so a couple weeks later, there was a big event that happened in Southern California called at that time it was a bash, but it would be equivalent to our conference. And he called and said, you need to be at the event. And I said, you're crazy. Because what he knew was that when I joined Nerium, we had gone through several years of kind of trying our hand at some risky ventures that backfired. And we were in debt to the, tens and tens of thousands of dollars. And I don't mean debt as in a car and a house. I mean debt as in every credit card you've capped it. You've taken the maximum extensions that they'll give you. You've got loans from the family, that kind of debt. And so I told him, I said, you're crazy, because I had to borrow the money to join Nerium. And now he's telling me buy an airline ticket and pay for a hotel. And this is 2 weeks before an event. Coincidentally, we are 2 weeks away from our next event. So this does have purpose here. So I said, no, I can't afford to go. He said, Monica, you can't afford not to go. He said, the people who are at this event will be given a 6 to 12 month head start on those who don't. And I'm like, advantage. I'm always looking for the competitive advantage. And I thought, well, if I'm there and everybody else isn't there in Dallas, that might be actually good, because then I can, be able to kind of capture that market share for myself. So long story short, that day, a friend came over. She did not even know yet that I had joined Nerium. I hadn't even talked to her about it yet. She walked in the door, sat down, and I said, hey, you want to go to California? A little getaway? She's like, heck yeah, when are we going? I was like, well, here's the deal. And so I told her I started doing this thing, and they're having a big bash, and it would be so much fun to room with her. And God bless her, she said yes. She hadn't even joined the company yet, and she said yes. She bought an airline ticket that next day. We bunked up. She obviously joined Nerium. And, all you need is, you're crazy until one person says yes. And now you're like a thought leader. And so I went from crazy to a thought leader as soon as she said yes and said she would room with me. So we went to the event, and I cannot tell you which, presenter it was, which announcement it was, what element it was, but it was the cumulative effect of a 2.5 day conference that all of a sudden things started shifting. And the fundamental, most critical thing that has to shift is your belief, because everything else rides on your belief. And so, during that event, my belief just went through the roof. My belief that this was legitimate and real and unique. My belief that people like me were going out and being successful at it. My belief that I was doing good in sharing this product and this opportunity with people, that it wasn't even just about my personal gain, that I left with somewhat of an obligation to let people in on my secret. It's crazy, but Noelle was talking about how we've got, we had this really great 90-day kind of run contest that we did. And it caused people to kind of come out of the woodworks, and it's always about kind of making your list. And she talked about the gal who's kind of rebuilding her list. I have found that the size of your list is directly correlated to the size of your belief and conviction. And so if your belief and conviction is down, your list is going to be small, because, in today's day and age, between, all of social media and just the social nature of our markets. And look, the vast majority of us live in the South. People in the South are friendly. You don't have a friend. You could go out today and find a friend. I mean, it's very easy to talk to people. The reality is that if you say you don't have a list, what you're really saying is that you have called the people you feel comfortable calling, and that you believe would want to do this. And these list of people that you know by name, they know you by name, you wouldn't feel comfortable calling them. That's what it's a belief issue. In fact, I don't have the little graphic in front of me, but there's something called a kind of belief quadrant. And the idea is that people actually get started with Nerium because they have a certain belief, this belief that the products work, People I know will want to consume them or get involved. And so they have this belief and then they join. Then they begin to take action. That action has either a positive or a negative effect. Meaning if you pick up the phone and the first 10 people you call go, you joined what? You fell for one of those pyramids? All of a sudden your belief drops. If the first 10 people you call, even if some of them go, oh my gosh, I've actually been using that product, it's unreal. All of a sudden your belief goes up, right? So the response you receive from people determines whether your belief increases or decreases. That then results in your perception of potential, the potential of the business, high and low, right? And therefore affects the belief again to determine, is your belief increased, is your belief decreased? So there's kind of this vicious cycle. So I say all of that, thankfully for me in my first 72 hours, the people that I contacted actually, in fact, this is crazy. I said yes to Nerium on a Friday, and that Saturday there was a regional, and I went to the regional, and at the regional, I was checking in, and all of a sudden this girl turns around and she goes, Monica Dawson, what are you doing here? It was a aesthetic nurse from a dermatology practice. It was a account of mine from my medical sales years. And then I go inside to sit down and I look 2 rows back and there's an esthetician from another plastic surgery account that I know. And she comes up, starts telling me how she used Nerium on her face, but she said, I've had a condition on my hands. I don't remember what it was now, but it literally, she hadn't been able to work because she's an esthetician doing facials on her skin. She couldn't do facials. And in the process of applying the Nerium on her face, it healed her hands. So she's like, look at my hands, and all of a sudden my belief goes, right? And so that's what happens. And that's what happens in events. It's not one single thing you're going to learn. It's really more cumulative. And I say that if you are on this, regional right now and you're planning to be in St. Louis, fantastic. If you're going alone, get a friend. I mean, just what does it hurt to just say, okay, this is crazy, but what are you doing the weekend of July 20th? Do you want to go with me to St. Louis? I mean, it can't hurt, right? It's not too late for you to make the decision to be there or to find somebody to go with you. Where there is a will, there's a way. If you make the decision you're going to be there, the way to get there will become apparent to you. So that is kind of my pitch on St. Louis. Noelle, I think what I'm going to do is oh, yay. Okay, fantastic. All right, well then let me get out of the way. And Noelle, I'll let you introduce Summer since you were invited her to participate today. So thanks, you guys.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
And okay, I am going to introduce actually a very dear friend of mine. She's very, very precious to me. And she's a fellow NMD, yes. But more than that, like I said, when you embrace the Nerium journey, it's not just about your finances. It's about a lot of different things. And I have made such beautiful friends in the past 5 years. Friends that you reach for when stuff goes really well or really bad. And I've seen that now for 5 years. And so anyway, about a couple years ago, Summer and I started chatting. And in addition to doing her Nerium business, she also is a John Maxwell coach. And I'll let her share about that. But I have taken several of her courses. And not only have I, but a lot of my team members have, and a lot of my family members have. She's seen all the crazy Sutton clan. But she's a precious human inside and out. And I really was so thrilled that she could share. And I'm really glad your fish are okay, Summer, and that your internet's back on. So without further ado, I want you guys to give her a warm welcome and to just really take everything that she says seriously, because I've never heard her just spout stuff. It's all beautiful and from the heart. So, okay, I'm going to get out of the way and mute myself, and you take over.
Well, hey guys, thank you, Noelle. And feelings are mutual. And I almost got all my makeup on. I have naked eyeballs. I call that when I don't have my mascara on, which sounds really stupid, but my hair is wet. This morning has been one of those, oh my God, if you're going to go up, show up, you got to, to show up, you got to go up to show up, or whatever, show up to go up. I can't even think. So, Noelle, you set me up to say stuff. I'm just saying, like, she doesn't say stuff. I'm like, yeah, there it goes. There's stuff. So No, so, first of all, I love what Monica just said. When you're looking at, your belief system and your list and the correspondence of the two, and that your list is smaller if you don't have that belief, and that just getting, one of the things in there that she mentioned that I kind of wanted to illustrate to you guys more is the power of a win. So what you heard her say is she's like, I'm going to go for it. I have a competitive edge by showing up to the St. Louis event, all those things. Well, the truth of the matter is she didn't know how good she could do at this, but when her friend decided to go ahead and get started, she was like, you know what? I've got to win. And so as you go on this journey, one of the things that's challenging is sometimes there's dry patches where you don't have the wins. And staying involved is hard. I mean, it's tough because you're going, it's not working anymore. There's no more wins. What do I do? Then you start getting distracted and you start putting your energy into other things, and then you blame the business when it's you. So I'm not trying to say this to call anybody out. I'm saying this from experience because, one of the things that I will tell you is I have, my background is a banker, and the banking industry is brutal. It's corporate. It's one of those things where you literally, it's feast or famine. I was in the top 10 on the ranking reports. I don't know if any of you guys are from a corporate background or if you do work still in corporate. However, what happens is if you're on the top 10 list, that means you get to keep your job. If you're not on the top 10 list, then you need to get on the top 10 list because you're in danger of losing your job. So what that means is you're constantly in survival mode trying to stay at the top, but everybody else is trying to get you off of there because there's only 10 spots. So I share that with you because you don't have that here. You don't have that person chasing you down, trying to make sure that you do what you're supposed to do. And, I think that's one of the hardest parts about this business is, number one, it doesn't cost a lot to start up the business. Monica also mentioned something. She said it cost her $20,000 a month just to stay, she and her family to keep the business going. Guys, you don't have that expense. And so sometimes if you don't have enough, we used to call it skin in the game when people, has such a gross thing. That's a gross saying. My brain is on overload right now, guys. I just had to do technical building of my internet over the phone with my husband at the freaking airport. Noelle's like, are you getting on? And I'm like, I don't know, trying to figure out what the hell's a router. I mean, it's I don't deal with this stuff. So I'm literally Noelle makes fun of me because we do morning Bible studies. Do you see my trough? This is my trough of coffee. And I haven't drank much, but I'm wired. Woo! Anyway, so my whole point is, you don't have that if you don't do it, you're okay. And if you do it, you're okay. So if you're not in the game with the 10 core, which is what Noelle is asking me to talk to you about, then what happens is you start getting distracted because you can be. So when you're looking at where you are right now, there's always something you can do about it. But if you don't have that motivator in front of you, it's not, there's a passion that comes from deep inside you. And it's one of those things that will pull you through just about anything. And it kind of starts, the passion you have evolves into this purpose. And so you heard Monica also say, Monica, you're just, you're off, but you're not off. I'm going to use you through this. So anyway, she mesmerizes me. There are some people that talk and you're going, and then there's people like Monica, you're like, oh, that was good. I'm talking to you, even though you can't hear me. I'm like, oh, that was really good. So anyway, you heard Monica say that, she was exhausted. She was tired. She was exhausted. She was trying to figure out what she wanted to do. And then what happens with Miriam is you're surrounded by people who will keep cheering you on. And, Noelle touched on that. She said, there's people you turn to when things really are tough and the good times and in the bad. And one of the reasons that I started the Maxwell program, my mom, some of you guys know my story, the banker part, I was a banker for 18 years. And I looked at this industry as a joke. I really did. I was a total snob. I'm like, I have a master's in banking. This is for people that have nothing better to do. Honest to God, because I would get mauled in shopping centers asking me if I wanted to have a makeover. And I was like, no, really no. This is awful. Because I was like, do I want to do what they just did to me, to my friends and family? And I don't want to aisle stalk people for that. And I thought, no, I don't want to do this. So anyway, got super burnt out. My husband is an attorney and an associate dean at a university here. And I called him in tears. And it was just, you reach this point where you can't take anymore and you're just done, beyond done. And I'm not a big, emotional person. I wasn't in banking like I used to. Do you guys remember A League of Their Own, the movie? So So I used to go, you know how he goes, there's no crying in baseball? Well, I said that in banking. I'm like, there's no crying in banking. This is so dumb. Stop crying. I'm like, go drive around. Do not do that here. So I'm so insensitive. Noelle's laughing because she's the woman that never cries. I do cry now. Like, I don't know what it is about Miriam, but all of a sudden, like, it's totally fine. It's ridiculous. But so that's not the point of the 10 cord. The whole thing is this. See, Noelle, you cursed me on the stuff thing. So the thing of it is this, is that, you know, I called Glenn. I said, I can't do this anymore. I was in tears, and I really thought I was about to be fired because they found out I was looking for another job. Truth be told, scared the crap out of me. And then what ended up happening was I fell into Nerium because a girl I had prospected for her, she owned Alzheimer's units. So my job was to go get business for the bank. So deposits and loans and sell credit card services and all of that. Well, she handed me a bottle of Nerium, and I'm thinking, oh, for real? I'm like, sure. And so she sold me. Okay, she's no longer in the business, which is another thing. People are going to come and go. The wind's going to change, and people are going to leave, and you're going to figure out if that why, that purpose that you're driven for is actually going to be something that keeps you moving. It kind of like John Maxwell puts it best. He said it's like a rudder on your boat when the waves are hitting you and the wind is throwing you off course. That's your passion and your purpose. And so, you know, my whole point in this is I wasn't fulfilling my passion in banking. I needed to find something, and Miriam got that for me, gave me that through personal development, through tons and tons of failures, through layers of pains and gains and wins and losses. And then I saw John Maxwell speak at one of our events, and I was captivated. Just like Monica, I mean, Monica's an excellent speaker. She does really well with drawing illustrations with her wording. And that's something that I like to tell people is people learn in pictures. So when you have somebody that can give you an illustration that you can associate with when you're talking to someone or trying to communicate, if you want to be more of an effective communicator, learn to draw pictures with your words. So like the boat analogy, okay? So I'm throwing in little things here and there. I'm not really good at following scripts and lines because there's so much in here that God wants me to tell you guys. So so at any rate, my mom got leukemia 4 years into Nerium, and she lost her battle with it. And I can talk about it now without crying, which is a freaking miracle in itself. However, I started the Maxwell program in 2015, which is when she was diagnosed. Well, what ended up happening was it gave me a positive distraction, but it helped me fine-tune. And this is something else I always say. Everybody on here is like an instrument that needs fine-tuning. So showing up to regionals, going as just part of 10 Core, being at certain events, plugging into the things that they have online for you. It's fine-tuning that Miriam instrument that you have and showing you where to work better in your gifting. You know, one of the things that John Maxwell always said is he said, feel sorry for the person who tries to be good at everything, for they'll never be good at anything. And so what I've learned is my gifting. And so, you know, I appreciate Noelle mentioning the Maxwell piece, but it brings me joy. And I wouldn't have figured out that part of my gifting had it not been for the process of Miriam saying, step outside of yourself for just a minute and look at who you are. And Jeff Olson had mentioned a book called, oh my gosh, I can't, it's escaping me. I need more coffee, and I didn't take my EHT yet. Anyway, it was a book where it talks about you as an individual and how the things you say to yourself matter, and how if you were to take that subconscious talk out of your mind and put it next to you, you wouldn't be friends with it. And it encouraged you to look at yourself as an observer, which when you're in it, and it is tough to like look at yourself from the outside in and go, that's interesting. Untethered Soul. Thank you, Teresa Franco. God, she always has my back. So it was Untethered Soul. It's a really weird read. Like if you know, some of my friends had to read it with their Bible next to them because it's out there, but it's good. It was a good book for me to stop feeling like I needed to be different or better or do more of this or do more of that, even though that's still in there. It's better for me. And so, but anyway, so coming full circle, if I didn't have the Nerium people, if I didn't have the Nerium spirit, if you will, I would not have been able to take on anything else. And the thing with my mother would have been absolutely devastating had God not led me to Nerium when he did, had I not built myself up for the 4 years prior to her getting sick. Just little things like words matter. In her room, I remember, somebody was saying, what's something significant that you've done to help someone else? And I mean, I don't know. I don't really think about me helping people all the time, but when my mom was sick, I hated hospital rooms. I still hate hospital rooms. Sick people don't need to feel like they're in a sick place. So I plastered her walls, and some of you guys helped me with funny sayings off the internet. You know, like I had a monkey that was like on her door when the nurses would go, "Today is not your day." And it was like a monkey. It was the funniest looking monkey you've ever seen. And so all the nurses were laughing, and it's your environment. And so Miriam creates that environment, and it did for me, that helps me heal my heart and then give unto others. And so to me, that's where I think this is such a magical place to be. So what I've learned through the Miriam 10 Core is, there's the share two people a day. The system itself, truthfully, is made for part-time people. I'm going to say that again. The system itself, truthfully, is made for part-time people. So share 2 a day. 2 a day compounded over a long period of time is half of it, okay? That's 30 people. Excuse me, I can't add. See, you need more trough coffee. I'm going to take another sip. So 2 people a day, that's 60 people a month, right? Y'all with me? Okay, so when you look at the power of exposures, that creates an opportunity for you to understand that's a number game. It's not who should I talk to that's going to say yes. It's I'm going to sit out. See, this is what people do. And Monica touched on this. It's you don't believe in the product enough, but I'm going to take it a step further. And I'm going to say you're overthinking who you expose to the opportunity. Because what I tell people is when people are hesitant to expose the opportunity or the product to somebody, my understanding is yes, belief. I agree with her on that. But you're also overthinking the entire process. If you know it's a numbers game, like if I say the number 2, are you emotionally attached to it? Not really. 10, anybody emotionally attached to it? Not really. Okay, my point is it's a number. It's just a number. Okay, and so you're searching for yeses, but you're going to mull through a bunch of numbers to get there. But if you're not putting up those numbers, then guess what you're not going to get? Any yeses, right? And are the majority of the people going to say yes? No, they're not. The majority are actually going to say no. So if you're looking at it from a numbers perspective and you realize that most people are going to say no, but some are going to say maybe, many will say maybe, and then very few will say yes, you start realizing the more numbers you put out there for exposures, the more you're going to get in results. So yes, the exposures is a big piece of it, and it's probably the easiest part of the business, I would say, simply because of the fact that you can go get 2 a day, anytime, any place, anywhere. It's based off of part-time numbers. Now, if you want to get more yeses, how much more exposures do you want to do? That's going to be determined upon what your time frame is, how you can do it. But there's a very logical part of that system with this 2 a day, because it's supposed to be something that everyone can do. And everyone can do 2 a day. I mean, even if you're on Facebook and you go, hey, I'd like to send you a video on something that's blessed my life. See, here's the other part of that exposure process is you've received a blessing by being a part of this Miriam vehicle. Miriam isn't everything. It's not the end all be all. You shouldn't overwork yourself with it because you'll burn out. There's a balance. There's a divine balance, and that's something you need to pray about for yourself. It's different for everybody. However, if you just go out to say, I found something that's blessed my life, and because most of us are Southern, I can say this. I had a New Jersey person go, look, if I tell somebody that I want to bless them, they're going to look at me like I'm crazy. And I go, okay, so just say, I found something fantastic. Okay, so whatever your verbiage wants to be. The whole game here, guys, is to take what works for other people and make it into your own. All right, so saying exactly what I say might not work for you, and that's okay, but just kind of get the gist of it. So with that, what you want to understand is people are looking at you, how you do it, what you say when you say it, if they can say that to other people. But if you show them a third-party tool, which we're going to get into later with those exposures, you're going to find that this whole process is much more simplified because they're no longer looking at you trying to sell them something. They're looking at you just being an angel that's trying to bless them. And that's how I want you to look at that. I want you to look at your 2 a days as something you bless people with, not something you're looking for them to buy something from you with. Okay, so that's half of it. Then the other part is 2 follow-ups a day. You're not going to have 2 people to follow up with in the beginning. So that's why if some of you guys are new, you're kind of like running uphill right now. And it seems like you're running up the side of a mountain. And I'm going to tell you, this is kind of like a river. Okay, this whole process in life in general is like this river. And you have rocks in the river, and you have dry spells, and you have floodgates opening, and then you've got floodgates shutting, and you just kind of weave in and out of what is going to come to you. And I've also found that the personal development piece, okay, which is part of 10 Core, is one of the biggest pieces of it. And for me, it was one of the easiest because I loved it. Like I soaked up and absorbed all of these really cool parts of the Slight Edge, and, listening to Robert Kiyosaki. We used to have his CDs in the actual kit. We used to call it Drive Time University. And guys, if you don't have time to do personal development, just put it in the car and listen to those CDs. The Jim Rohn CD is killer, and I'm hoping we get those back in the kits. I've heard rumors of that. I don't know if any of that is true, so do not spread rumors, but like I just did. But if they don't do it, they're like $10. Like go get like 100 for like $10. It's insanely cheap. And give them to people when they first get started. And if you haven't heard it, go listen to it again if you haven't heard it in a while. So the thing of it for you is that your leaders have been in some of those. They know where the rocks in the river are. So while you get like snagged on a rock and you're mad because it's the rock's fault, not yours for hitting the rock, that happens. That's personal development issue, by the way. Not that I have ever been mad about a rock in the river that I got stuck on by myself, but your leader is going to be down having a party, like with a cooler of like cool drinks and like some food. They're like, come on, the water's great. And you're on the rock. You're like, stupid boats what got me on this rock in the first place. But that personal development will go, it's not the rock's fault. It's mine. I'm going to figure this out. But see, there's things in this business that will come at you and they will grind you up and grow you, or they'll grind you up and spit you out. The only thing that separates you on how you continue to go, there's two things: your purpose and your personal development. Because if you don't have both of those, there's a little bit of air coming out of your inner tube going down that river. I can put it, this is so country, but it's true. Like if anybody's ever floated down a river in a flat inner tube or an inner tube going under, it ain't fun. So look at your personal development like the air in your inner tube, and look at the purpose as like the thing that kind of helps you move around those rocks. Okay, so at any rate, so you got personal development, you got exposures, your follow-ups. There's I don't know who coined it, but it was killer. I'm gonna give Darren Kidd credit, but he probably got it from somewhere else, because that's kind of what we do is we pick stuff up and then it seems like we said it, but it was from someone else. But anyway, don't tell him I said that, or tell him I don't care. But no, he. I think he was the one that said, the fortune's in the follow-up. I don't know. Darren Kidd's coming to mind. I love listening to him. He's amazing. But, when if you expose people, the chances of them following up with you are slim to none. And here's why. Your business means a heck of a lot more to you than it does to them. So people are going to focus on what's right in front of them. And they think in accordion files, okay? So if you have an exposure you've done, if you leave it open-ended, you're never going to get the sale. If you hand out a youth factor juice and you don't follow up with them, you're never going to get the sale, because it's just not important, okay? So for you, what you want to do is remember that accordion file mindset that people have, and you go, okay, so I'm super excited about this. I found something that's blessed my life. And then you go, if I send you something, when could you follow? When can I call you and see what you like best about it? Set the date and time. If you leave it open-ended, then loosey-goosey, you're going to run into a situation where you're going to forget about it and they're going to forget about it, because you got 60 of these things in a perfect world going at one time, if not more, right? So somebody's telling me where the fortune the follow-up was. I'm distracted. I think I have like ADD ooh shiny. And there's like this orange shiny thing that pops up with you guys talking to me. And I'm like, what? Okay. So anyway, so here's the other part that I think is super cool about Miriam and the personal development. So follow up with your people. When you do an exposure, set the follow-up date. Do show up to the event so that you can put the air in your inner tube as this river flows, right? Don't have a flat inner tube. And then make sure that you understand that this is going to be a grind. There's a part of this where you're like, oh my God, I'm getting so many stupid exposures and no one's freaking buying anything. It's okay. Because there's the dry spell, right? I told you, it's like a river. There's a time where the river kind of dries up a little bit. Some of us are in a river right now that's a little drier than we'd like it to be. But then what happens is there's always, Larry Zimberg said something about the system, and it was so profound. He goes, have you ever seen a McDonald's go out of business? And I thought, I haven't really. Like, I haven't. And so the reason is because they have a very specific system that is duplicatable all over the world. Mark Smith did an exercise one time in front of the room, and he said, okay, when everybody close their eyes, And I want everybody to vision themselves standing at the front counter of a McDonald's. And I want you to close your eyes and I want you to point where the French fries would be in the McDonald's as you're standing at the counter. And everybody went like this. And he said, open your eyes. And the whole freaking crowd was like pointing to the left, right? Because that sounded funny. Pointing to the left, correct. The English language, if I had to learn this thing, like I'm not even that good at it. And like, can you imagine? I mean, some of you guys probably speak multiple languages. I mean, I didn't do well in even Spanish. So I'm like, ugh. Anyway, so I don't know. That's a whole nother session that we could talk about. But the idea of the 10 core is to keep you in a simple place with a very simple concept that builds you over a long period of time. That's the slight edge, right? Small, seemingly insignificant things done over a long period of time. And so when you look at a national marketing director like Noelle, what you realize very quickly is that's a person that knows what the heck they're doing. And I'll tell you something that Noelle has always been really good at, and it's probably because Monica has been helping her so much with it. I'm kidding. I'm just trying to bring Monica into this. But Noelle and her sister, Natalie, are some of the most creative people on the face of the planet. And so Monica and I are kind of the same. It's like, we're doing it. And then Noelle goes, but what if we do it this way? And then Monica and I go, oh, let's try it. It's a really good idea. This is how it works behind the scenes. Y'all don't know it, but that's like what's happening. But the creativity in your business, if you are no longer being creative in ways to do your business, just because the system is there, it doesn't mean that you can't customize it to what makes it fun for you and interesting for you and simpler for you, but it has to be duplicatable. So the concept is do something that works repeatedly over time for the masses that the masses can do, but that's fun and creative in the way that it needs to be for you. I'm not saying change the system. I'm saying do things, make it yours. It's your business. You're the CEO, CFO of your business. And most of you guys look at your business like you're needing to wait for somebody to tell you what to do. Your upline isn't there to tell you what to do. But there's some people who have different gifting. Remember I told you find your gifting? And there's some people that, like for me, I'm like, this is what it says. This is what we're going to do. This is how it works. And then somebody comes and goes, well, what if we tried this? And I'm like, oh. And then I get excited and I'm like, oh, that could be fun. And it could work because I'm all about the fun too, right? So what I want to give Noelle credit for is she's very creative in ways that she can navigate the business having, I lose count, 6 kids. Am I right? She's like, she said 6 kids, and she's incredible. But she thinks of creative ways, and she's good at the fun because she's in touch with her inner child because she has so many. I'm kidding, but she probably would be anyway. But so keep it fun, keep it simple. Remember, it's a river. There's going to be rocks in the river. You're going to have, I didn't go through every little minutia of the 10 core. I picked out the pieces that I think are the most important. But be you. And give yourself some grace when the river's a little dry, because there's going to be another storm coming that's going to fill that river and let it flow better. And it's going to have, there's a back door open sometimes, and sometimes the front door's open. But if you stop, then you're going to dry up and you're going to not have any water to float on anyway, right? So just, kind of do your personal development, all the stuff that builds you into a better version of yourself. And over a long period of time, you're going to find that, the only difference between NMD and you, if you're not an NMD on here, is that we've had more pain and more wins along the way in a more condensed time pace than some of you guys have. So there is a fly wanting my coffee. That's why I like going like this. But yeah, so just love you guys. Thanks for having me. I hope this was helpful. And if you guys need me, I'm a Facebook message away. Love y'all. Thanks for having me, Noelle.
Thank you, sweet friend. And listen, when Summer, your next John Maxwell class, give me the info and let me promote it a bit. Because you guys, when I actually felt stuck not long ago, and her class was really what I needed. It was that swift kick in the pants, the personal development. And oftentimes that's what I find for myself. If my business is not doing what I want it to do, if I just get started on some personal development, and in particular, I really do like John Maxwell because he gives you this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do. And that's why, honestly, I feel like I did well in Nerium when I didn't in my 5 other businesses that I tried, is because Nerium is so is so turnkey. It tells you exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And actually, Summer touched on some of the creativity that you can use for your following your 10 core. And if you do really follow the 10 core, and I never, like Summer said, we don't sit there to our downline and tell you what you're doing wrong. That really never works. So what I like to do is I like to turn it around and I say, okay, look at the 10 core. And if you're not super familiar with it, if you're somewhat new, or grab that first success planner that they give you. I'm telling you what, everybody that I know that's been really successful in Nerium has like clutched that thing, like a Bible. I mean, really, we call it the Millionaire's Guide to Success. It will tell you everything that you need to know. And when you're done with it and your, first 3 months, it has a calendar, get a new one. Print it out on, you don't even have to buy a new one. Nerium provides updated versions for us for free. Grab a new one and do it again. But so look at those 10 core and rate yourself on a 1 to 10. So personal development, how are you doing 1 to 10? And when I did this exercise years ago, it was so powerful because it wasn't somebody saying, you're not doing this or you're not doing that. I had to like look in the mirror. And if I wasn't happy with how my business is going, I had to rate myself on, am I doing 2 a day? Am I doing my personal development? And am I showing up to everything, et cetera, et cetera? So something that I'm really encouraging the team to do is we're calling it Mailbox Monday. So you kind of pick how many samples, not even just your 2 a day, but how many samples do you want to personally get out per month? And let's say it's 12. So every Monday, you better have 3 people that you are ready to mail out those samples to. And then we call it Follow-Up Friday. So on Fridays, and I'm just as guilty. I have to have a system for everything. I mean, I homeschool, and I've got, the farm and all of that craziness going on. And David Bird and his planner have really, really saved my life. I mean, the first time I talked to David, I said, I think God sent me Nerium for you. And his daughter now that I speak to, it's just an extension. It's beautiful. But my samples would sit even in the padded envelopes that I had gotten from the post office on my counter for a week or 2. And it would get crazy. And I really have a post office phobia too. I really do. Matter of fact, my mom went in the other day. She's like, oh, you're Debbie. You've got the one daughter that used to live across the hospital and one that just moved to Augusta and the one that's really scared of the post office, right? And Mom came home and told me that. And I'm like, I live in a small town, but that is rude. And I just sent Brenna, the one that just got her license, to the post office. Anyway, so Mailbox Monday and then Follow-Up Friday. And let's say that you follow-up is, did you get your sample? And I tell people when I'm sending out samples, look, call me before you use it. There's specific instructions. Don't use it. And then they let me know when it's in, and I can give them videos and instructions and all that. But then Follow-Up Friday, you look back on your list and see who you've been lazy about and contact those people too. And so when you get into that rhythm, and I also have purchased for myself, you don't have to take this, you don't have to take any of this to your business, but I'm encouraging the team to use Mailbox Monday to not only send encouraging notes to your downline, if you have a downline yet, but also to friends or family that you don't normally connect with by snail mail. It means a lot, and it's really rare nowadays. And a letter or a note is so encouraging and so beautiful. When I get one, it goes on my fridge, or I have a special place in my dining room where I put all the stuff. Anyway, so Mailbox Monday, use that to not only send out your samples, but really be in community, be it Nerium people or not, to connect yourself with those people and to really deepen those relationships. And so anyway, that's been a lot of fun. Let me see where we're at time-wise. Okay. I think Melissa Matza, let me find you, or can you unmute yourself? This is a gal on my team, and I am so crazy proud of her. Without going into a lot of details, Summer mentioned that, sometimes people around you or the people that you got into the business with decide Miriam is not for them and they move on. And sometimes that's like whatever. And then sometimes it can be really painful and hard for your business, because the way this business is set up is your best friend recruits their best friend, which recruits their best friend, which recruits their best friend, et cetera, et cetera. And when one or two of those people leave, it's like Jenga. You know, have you guys ever played Jenga? Where you take out the one block, you take out the other block. And this is a gal who her upline decided Miriam wasn't for her. And man, her why is huge, and her why is strong, and it has to do with her kids, and I'll let her share that with you. But I am crazy proud of her consistency, her determination to just have a good attitude. And she's seeing a lot of that stuff come to fruition and how it looks in your business when you're 10 core for a long time. So Melissa, can you unmute and take
I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay, I'm going to mute myself. You can share your story.
I have a little bit of a cold or allergies or something, so sorry about my voice. But when Noelle texted me last night, my first instinct was to say no, because this is way, way out of my comfort zone. I do not talk in front of people, but I knew that as part of my Miriam journey, if I was going to grow, I had to lead a team and I had to talk in front of people. So I put my big girl panties on. I don't know, I think Monica uses that term. And I said, I can do this. This is not anything that I'm not comfortable with. It's my story and no one can take that from me. So I started in Miriam about 2 years ago, just a little over 2 years ago. I was 55 at the time, and I was looking in the mirror and saying, oh my, what is happening to my face? Not just my face, but my entire body. I don't know, most of you are young. I'm seeing a lot of young people, but when you hit 45, it starts going south. And when you hit 55, gravity has taken over. So I was looking for something, and I was using a very expensive product and paying a lot of money. When I added up what I was paying about $1,200 a year for the product I was using, and it wasn't working. So when I, started using Miriam and got my product for free, which I did within the first 2 weeks, I, immediately got a raise right there. I was getting free product. So that was a win. And the girl that brought me in, like Noelle said, is no longer in. But she had posted something on on Facebook one day about the business. And at the same time, I was looking for something part-time. After 35 years with my now ex, I found myself divorced with 2 kids and living in a money pit. I love my house, but it is old. It was built in 1895, and it needed a ton of work. And I knew that going into it. I just wasn't expecting everything that went wrong. So, after 35 years of a very, very comfortable life, with a very successful husband, I found myself not able to even take my kids on vacation. I mean, not able to even hardly take them out to dinner. The things that I was used to doing, I could not do. And I came to a point in my life that I felt like I wasn't even worthy of doing those things, that, maybe I didn't deserve them. That's why I'm divorced. So she posted something about the business, and I messaged her and I said, hey, I need something part-time. I had told my kids that I needed to go back to work. And my youngest, who is 14 now, doesn't remember me working. I had quit working when he was a year old. I'm an accountant. So, number crunching is what I do, not sharing, talking to people. You sit at a desk and crunch numbers. So when I told him that mommy had to go back to work, he started crying because he really didn't remember me working. So I just prayed and said, please, there has got to be something that I can do from home. And I didn't want to do accounting from home. That is just so boring that if you don't have people around you, it's really boring. I said, there has got to be something. So I inquired about the business and jumped on. No questions asked, I jumped on. And it's kind of funny. I signed up. The next day, I had a colonoscopy. The day after, I trained with her, kind of still under anesthesia. I felt kind of loopy, so I really got nothing out of the training. And then I went on vacation. So my first 2 weeks were like hardly anything. But while I was on vacation, I started sharing on Facebook. And it was kind of amazing. People just started coming out of the woodworks. So by the time I got home, I had already had my 3 customers and hadn't even had my launch party yet. So I had my launch party and I was very blessed. I have a great support system in my friends. I was able to earn my iPad within the first, I think in the first 30 days. At the time I joined at the $1,000 investment, there was a $1,000 investment. I earned my money back in the first month. And truthfully, I haven't looked back. Even with, like Noelle said, the girl that brought me in, we really weren't that close friends. We were friends through our kids, but she left. And I had become very good friends with the girl that had brought her in. I mean, very good friends. We talked every day on the phone. And even though she's not in Nerium now, I thank her for what she did teach me. She was very encouraging and she believed in me. And this is one thing that, I think Jeff Olson has said over and over again. She believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And this company does believe in you until you believe in yourself. So I jumped right in and I really haven't stopped. Noelle wanted me to talk about my activity a little bit. When the company announced the NLC, I was like, you know what? I have not been on vacation in years. I have been on vacation since 2013. I said, I'm going for this, and I deserve to win this because I felt very unworthy. So, my goal was to be in the Month Ahead Club every month. Now, I wasn't every month. I was in the beginning, but I still did it. And I can thank my messy list. I am a list maker. This notebook is my Bible. I have just everybody. I did the dump. I think the book First Year Network Marketing talks about making your list and don't be judgmental. And I know in the beginning I was very judgmental. I was like, oh, that person wouldn't like it. And it's always the person that you think is not going to like it or that is not going to want it is the one that comes around. And especially now with health and wellness, it is so easy because we have something for everyone. There is not something that you cannot introduce to every person out there. Everyone has a need for something. So I use this list. These papers is what I will update in this notebook. I haven't had time to do that. But the second part is when Monica announced our 90-day program, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, this is the worst time of my life. I just entered like probably the busiest time of my life. My son graduated from high school. And I just had a crazy busy April, May, and June. Just, I Noelle knows this. I was invited to 21 graduation parties. I mean, it was financially, it was tough and just time-wise. But I did not let it stop me. I kept on going. And I did win the trip, but unfortunately I can't go. It's the weekend of my son's first homecoming, and I just can't miss that. So I won the watch. We did a little team thing with the most three-way calls, and it was the week of my son's graduation. So fitting three-way calls in was tough, but I was like, you know what? No excuses. I'm going to do this. And I am going to tell you my little secret that Summer talked about, that crazy person in your head. I have stopped that crazy person. It's not there anymore. As soon as it comes out, and believe me, there were some crazy thoughts in my head. When that person comes out, I just shut her down. I just like, I don't have time for you. But if you all were at conference last year, last September, I guess, Mel Robbins talked on the 5-second rule. And I have listened to that book twice. And I'm just finishing again for the second time. And when I'm feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this, or, I don't know where to turn, or I'm afraid to talk to that person, I just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, and I do it. It never fails me, except for with exercising. It does fail me with exercising. I just can't seem to get that motivation, but I'm going to get there. One thing at a time, baby steps. And just don't stop. Just keep at it. And the activity, it is a 90-day cycle. I mean, I had a pretty dry spell in May, but just last night I had 3 people come out of nowhere. And I looked back in my notes, my Bible, and one of them I had talked to in 2015. So they do come around. I have several from, one of my first people that came to my RRP that didn't order is now a customer. So, my advice is just don't stop. Just keep at it every day. And like Mel says, I just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and go. My kids have a little joke that they're going to come in the house without limbs, and mom's going to say, it's okay, just put some Nerium on it. That's our standing joke in our house. So that is my story, and I hope I was helpful.
Thank
Noelle,
you so much.
thank you for asking me to talk.
No, I appreciate you so much. And like she said, looking at her Facebook just makes me tired because she's an actor mom. So she takes her son to, every festival, play, musical you could possibly imagine. But yet she, when she won the watch, she actually signed up 3 brand partners, and she Fast Start qualified herself again. So, so proud of her. And she's right. It is just, I actually had my last 2 customers last month. They were people that I talked to 3 years ago. So it's just picking a company, and I believe with all of my heart that ours is the best, and sticking with it through the long haul until you find success. Because if you're doing 10 core, you will find success. I can't tell you it'll be tomorrow or next month or a year from now. And some of it is personal development. And I believe some of it, I've talked to some people who've had success a little bit later, and they look back and they said, if I had success back then, it would have destroyed me where I was at personally, in my personal development, my leadership skills, or what was going on with my family, or something, let's say that, a health issue comes up with a husband or a kid, and they didn't know it was going to happen. Anyway, it's perfect timing always. But if you put in the work, it will work. So with that, actually, I'm going to turn it back over to Monica. And sweet Marielle Filipponi is driving. She's almost to her kids' soccer game. Everybody has been so wonderful putting this together for us. I'm so blessed that people across the country with no internet, and their fish are craving the little oxygen bubbles, or their kids are having soccer games. And this is what makes this business beautiful, is because we reach across. Summer is not on our team. Marielle is not on our team. And they're doing this out of the goodness of their heart on a Saturday morning to help everybody grow. And so anyway, Monica, it's back to you. I'm going to let you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Noelle. And thank you, Summer, for just a great talk. She talks so good. Is that what Noelle said? She always says a lot. She talks so good. No, what I love about Summer? She wears her heart on her sleeve. She's exactly who she appears to be. She's transparent. She's authentic. And that's one of our core principles in Nerium, is being real. And few are more real than Summer. And I'm so grateful for you, girl. Definitely one of the biggest joys in this journey with Nerium is the people you come in association with, and they impact you and they change you. And we can definitely say that for one another here for the presenters today. So thank you for that. I want to take a moment real quick, because I know we have quite a few people that joined even after we did the initial introductions. If you've got your camera turned on, or if you can turn on your camera, I'd love for you to raise your hand. I believe we have a lot of first-time regional attendees on the line, just because I'm getting some messages here. If this is your first time on a regional, if you can either in the chat, just say I'm a newbie, or raise your hand. Who do we have that this is your first time, or if you're in a room with somebody that it's their first time? Can you raise your hand?
I'm a newbie.
Hi there. How are you?
Well, thank you. I'm Mary.
Hi, Mary. Where are you videoing in from?
Warner Robins, Georgia.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome. Well, welcome, welcome. How long have you been involved with Nerium?
February the 19th this year.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Well, welcome. I'm glad you could be on with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do we have any other newbies? You can unmute yourself. You can chime in on the message board. I know we do. I know Letty's in California. That's her first. I don't know, Janice, if she's with you, but welcome, welcome, Letty, to the regional. Do we have any other newbies?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I'm listening to you and watching you from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, right on. Welcome.
Yes, and I will see you all in St. Louis.
Awesome. Tell me your name. Who is this?
This is Susie Towell.
Welcome, Susie. And how long have you been involved with Nerium?
A couple years now.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is something I just stumbled upon on Facebook, and I saw you, and I said,
perfect.
I'm going to chime in and see what they're talking about. And I think you're all wonderful. And thank you so much for doing this.
You betcha. Well, I'm glad you're on. And if we missed you, go ahead and make a comment here in the chat section or raise your hand. We definitely like to welcome you on. What I want to do is give a little context to our regional today, and then we'll hand it over to Marielle. She should be getting on the line here in a few minutes. But if this is your first time onto a regional, we have what we call in Nerium, that Nerium rhythm. And the rhythm is kind of a series of events and activities that help you kind of stay plugged in and grow as a Nerium brand partner. Today's regional, we host a regional on a monthly basis in markets across the country. Today, we opted to do a virtual regional, which I think was a really fantastic idea, and I think a few markets are doing that. One, to allow people to participate that were traveling on family vacations, but also this is our conference month in 2 weeks, and so I know a lot of people are saving money, so in terms of traveling to a regional or paying to get in the door, we wanted to make sure you could save those funds to go towards your regional. So this is a monthly event. I encourage you to kind of plug into your local market event in the area of your regional. In fact, if you look at, I know Summer did a great job of kind of more giving the philosophies behind the 10 core commitments than anything, but these are the 10 core commitments for Nerium. And by the way, the 10 core commitments also comes from the philosophies behind our book, The Slide Edge, which is from our founder and CEO, Jeff Olson. And the 10 core commitments are the fundamental basics. And it's a combination of things you're going to do on a weekly basis, as well as things you're not going to do and things you're going to fill your mind with. So it's a combination of activities, of kind of belief building and associations. And those things are going to be critical to your long-term success with Nerium, whether you're looking to create hobby income or you're looking to create, a retirement account or pay for private school or whatever it is that your personal goals are with Nerium. The 10 core commitments is your kind of barometer to know if you're on track. And you know what? It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Okay. So so Noelle talked about kind of taking a little bit of inventory. As you look at these 10 core commitments, the first talks about new brand partner training, not just participating in it, but making sure any new person on your team gets introduced to it and actually goes through new brand partner training, which is our online training system, to the 2-a-day exposure system, where you're basically creating 2 new exposures 5 days a week to build into your Nerium business, which I'll talk about that a little bit later. Sharing our products, getting product and information into people's hands. Those are the physical activities, right? That would be like weightlifting, that is push-ups, that is running on the treadmill, that is cycling, okay? The next part is really about plugging in. And the plugging in is really, really a critical aspect, because if not, you live in your own little bubble. And if you're having a good day, then the world is, your oyster. And if you're having a bad day, Nerium's imploding. And I'm here to tell you it's not. So, being in good associations is going to be everything to hold you up. And you know what? The reality is that whether we're talking about business, whether we're talking about physical health, or whether we're talking about spiritual health, all of these require being in positive associations, right? You're going to have a hard time, being a, beast in the gym if you don't have a support structure of people around you that are encouraging you and doing with you. You're going to have a hard time of being a, spiritual giant in your world if you don't have a support structure and a church and a Bible study and an accountability group behind you. So the same holds true. This is not a business you can do by yourself, isolated. And I want to say this, okay, and please hear me the right way. I've been involved with Nerium for going on 5 years. I've been in the industry 9 years. At moments, and I don't mean to scare off our brand new babies, but at moment the depression torpedo comes straight at you, whatever the reason is, whether it's you're disappointed with your own personal performance and your discipline to see the business through, whether you're disappointed with somebody who said no, whether you're disappointed with somebody who said yes and did nothing, or disappointed in somebody that threw in the towel. The depression torpedo it's just part of it, okay? And I learned a long time ago to discipline disappointments, but let me tell you, they get bigger the bigger your business gets, so you have to do that. Not long ago, I kind of, in my mind, I thought, gosh, I just feel alone. And it's easy to do if you are kind of, I'd been traveling quite a bit, so I hadn't been as plugged into my local events because it just wasn't in town when they were happening. Or, and I'm at a point where, the business is such that people go, Monica's so busy, so they don't call. And so if I don't call people, I don't talk to anybody. I know that's crazy, but I'm a people person. I like to be with people. But I just want to say this for you. If ever you feel that way, that is an inside job. And what I mean by that is you've got to take the personal initiative to reach out and be in community. There are so many people in Nerium that want to be a part of helping you be successful. They want accountability partners. They want a support group, people that will just encourage one another. If you feel isolated alone and you want to blame it on physical, I'm located in a city where there's not as many people, whatever, there is nothing to keep you from once a week picking up the phone and calling somebody and just saying, hey, you and I are on the same team. I see that you're, doing fantastic with, getting before and after pictures on your eye serum. Would you give me a few coaching tips? What are you doing? And how's that working for you? And what's your why? And just really connecting with people. And, it was something I made the decision I was going to do is just kind of once a week, reach out to somebody and build community and learn and grow so that I'm not living in my own little Nerium bubble. But in our business, that rhythm of events starts in a living room with a real results party. That's where you gather a few people, push play on a video and do samples. It then grows from there into a market event. And most major markets have a market party, which goes through more the business presentation of Nerium. Market parties build into regionals, which is what we're doing right now. And regionals, the people who are at regionals are the ones that go to convention. You'll get some, but it's unusual for somebody to go to conference that's completely ignorant to or never participates in a regional. For the most part, they do. So those are the events they build up, but that builds community, okay? Then you get into the discipline and the growing and the improving. So the first part of the 10 core commitments is like the physical activity. The second part of the 10 core commitments is about community. And then the third part of the 10 core commitments is about your mental health and just growing as a person. And that's where committing to personal development, finding a workout partner, and being here a year from now is critical. So I say all of that. In true David Bird form, for those who are new to Nerium, David Bird is the coach that, and Jenny Bird as well, once you become National Marketing Director, you get the benefit of a monthly coaching session with David Bird and Jenny Bird Greer. The idea is to help you build life balance and to kind of have all the leadership kind of singing off of one sheet of music. And it's been a life-altering experience for me. But in true David Bird form, what he would say is that if you are taking inventory today, you're looking at what's on the screen right now and you're saying, gosh, I'm off base. Don't try to go, do all 10 perfectly right away. Pick 10 of the 10 core commitments that you're going to zero in on in the month of July, and zero in on being consistent with those 2. I'll tell you what my experience has been in this area, and Summer said it, and I believe Noelle said it as well. You want to get a victory. You want to get a win. If you can get a win in one area, you'll get a win in probably more than one area. I recently this summer started doing yoga. I did it many years ago, and I kind of got out of the practice, and so I've gotten back into yoga this summer. Don't be too impressed. I'm good if I go twice a week. My goal is twice a week. Every blue moon, I do something 3 times a week. But you know what? Is it going to transform my body? Twice a week yoga? No. But what it is going to do is transform my mind, and it's going to reinforce the belief that when I make a decision to do something, I see it through. This is about trusting yourself. Okay. And so that for me is important to know that I have created a belief that I am somebody who finishes what I start. And that's critical. And so, but what I find is when I go to the yoga class, once I'm there, I do a little bit more. I don't just do yoga. While I'm there, I think, well, I'm going to go spin for 15, 20 minutes. So I probably wouldn't have gone just to do that, but because I'm already there, I'm going to do a little more. And what I mean by that is set a goal that's attainable and reachable in the month of July in terms of really kind of getting into that Nerium rhythm for yourself. Pick 2 of these 10 core commitments that you're going to zero in on, measure them on a daily, weekly basis, depending on what the objective is here, and get a victory. Because if you get a victory in this area, you'll find that it will spill over. Probably you'll do more than 2 of those 10 core well. You'll probably do 3, maybe 4. You'll also find that you'll have that winning mentality, and it'll be easier for you to move on. So I want to pause for a second. Is Marielle on? Because I don't want to steal your time. She is on. Okay, fantastic. Well, I tell you what, I'm actually going to go ahead and hand it over to Marielle, and the slides here are right on point, but I'm just going to go ahead and hand it over. I'm so excited to have with us today Marielle Filipponi. She is out of Southern California. Marielle has become a bit of a soul sister for me. She's somebody who, again, in keeping with, kind of Summer's stance, she's real, she's authentic, she's transparent. But she is incredibly disciplined in her personal practice. And I don't know how much of that she'll talk with you about today. But what's fantastic about Marielle, and the reason she's been able to build such a large organization, is not because she travels around the country telling people what they should do. It's because in the moments where nobody's looking, where there isn't a camera on her, where she's not standing in front of a room doing a presentation, she's doing the simple disciplines on a daily basis. 2 exposures a day, following the Nerium system, being at events. In fact, she's such a trooper. She is on her way, time change, on her way to a soccer tournament or on her way back. I can't recall, Marielle. And she's, she may be in a stopping point, but she was in the car a minute ago, and she's agreed to be on our training today. So I am just thrilled. I'll be taking notes, friends. So Marielle Filipponi, you there?
Yes. Hi.
Hey, okay, girlfriend, take it away.
Hey, thank you guys so much. We're literally parking at the soccer tournament right now, so I won't be moving, won't be as dizzy in about 60 seconds.
No worries.
We got up my alarm went off at 5 in the morning, which I guess isn't early for you because that was 8 for you guys. But that is early for this mama. I don't like getting up at 5 in the morning. But I'll get up at any hour, of course, if there's mamas on the line or aunts or grandmas that get this. But I'll get up at any hour when, our firstborn has her first ever out-of-town soccer tournament. So it's a big day in the Filipponi household. And, oh my gosh, I just got a tear. No, I mean, yes. But anyhow, my husband's so excited. He's like, I'm not going to listen to this for the next 20 minutes. He's ready to get out. He's fine. Say hi, Frank.
Hey. Hey, everybody.
Anyhow, there's a little cameo. Anyhow, yes, thank you, Monica. I'm going to just move my legs for a second. We've been in the car for hours. But yes, I thank you so much for that introduction because I do value my Nerium time every day. I just need the keys, so just make sure you leave the keys in here. You got to keep it, or keep it on. We don't want my phone to die on you all.
I don't have the keys.
Okay, I've got them. Okay. So, anyhow, great life. Yay! Oh, I see Trisha's daughter just hopped on. I see little ones. Okay. This is when you all go get your kids and, grandkids and all that stuff. Anyhow, so we got started about 4.5 years ago. I can't even believe it now. Those of you that don't know our story. And
Frank was definitely, that guy, the driver, was definitely not on board at all when, I thought this could really be something for our family that was going to make a difference. And I thought it would maybe be, a couple $100. I mean, honestly, I didn't really even realize it'd maybe be a couple $100 even continuing going forward, a residual check or a monthly check. I didn't think that big, I guess, if you will. And I really was just excited about the potential of not having bags under my eyes because I had just given birth to our 3rd child in 39 months. And I know there's people on the line that have a lot more kids, and that's wonderful for you. But we had 3 in 39 months, and I just honestly needed some support with underneath here that I just never really had. I guess either I was in denial before that or I hadn't paid attention. I have no idea. But I remember looking in the mirror going, is that really my face? And anyhow, when my mom had results with the product, because she had phenomenal results with the night cream after about 3 weeks, I knew that we could make some serious income from this product. I didn't know it was going to be as big as what it's been for our family, but you know, I just knew that I could get behind it and I could believe in it. And that conviction gave me the strength to
Sorry, really quick. Marielle, you're muted to me. Is she muted to you guys as well?
Well, she muted herself, I think. There you go.
Oh my gosh, I talk with my hands so much that I think I touched the button or something.
You're good.
Wow. Where did I get
You barely muted, so you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay. What was I saying, Monica? Just kidding. I had EHT this morning. So anyways, you know, that conviction, I have to go, Lori's laughing. Lori knows me. So anyways, that conviction and that belief and that moment that I thought, wow, you know, my mom has tried hundreds of products since the time I was a little girl, you know, since the time my daughter's, you know, age. And I've just seen her go through just tons of products, whether it was a $5 product or a $500 product. And nothing's given my mom results like, you know, I'm getting the chills thinking about it, you know. Having that belief and that conviction, I don't care what rank you are, I don't care how successful or not that you think you are in your brain, you know, once you have belief in anything and conviction in anything, whether it be one of our products or all of our products, you know, it really helps when you're out talking to people because you really do believe that you have an opportunity to share with them something that's going to, you know, cost less, you know, actually provide results. So that belief and that conviction is what I draw from every day. So when Monica was saying that I don't tell people what to do, you know, I really just like to transfer my belief. And so I don't like to tell my team what to do. I don't like to tell my team, go talk to 2 people a day. That's not going to help them. That's not going to help anyone. You know, you just have to draw from where you believe. And for me, the greatest strength in my belief, well, in the last 24 hours, my belief has really gone through the roof because a few of us have been sent to the 2 new products as a FedEx delivery yesterday. And I was just so excited, obviously. So now I am calling everyone on my team, and this is the truth. I'm God's honest truth. I am telling everyone on my team that I have undervalued this next conference and I've underpromoted. And if there is any way you can get miles, buddy passes, you know, tickets to conference, on a plane, in a bus, people are now carpooling. I mean, I have been texting and talking to people since like 4 a.m. I swear people have messaged me. I didn't get out of bed till 5, but I'm just like, no way. I saw your post. You know, we just hundreds of people messaging me. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Excuse my language. I messed up. I effed up. I didn't value the conference as much as I know I now should have. And I haven't been promoting it the way that, you know, we did that first when I had that belief and that conviction when I saw my mom's face and I went, wow, this is going to make a lot of people a lot of money. I mean, my mom said, oh my gosh. I posted her before and after picture on Facebook of just from, you know, her nose down, basically. Didn't put her name attached to it. But the only problem was I didn't ask her permission to post this, like, you know, 4.5 years ago. And so I just said, guess who? And I ... these are results in 3 weeks. And I had just so many messages, you know, and my mom said, you know, what are you doing? Freaking out. And she wrote on the post, really, Marielle, with all these exclamation points, not very pleased. And I said, Mom, your chin is going to make us a lot of money, basically. And lo and behold, 4.5 years later, I've never been in this industry before. I've never done anything like this before. I've owned a Pilates studio and we have yoga classes as well. We had yoga classes. We now just have Pilates again. I'd spent about 16 years that I've been in business for myself, but I have never done network marketing. And I've never really moved a product, and let alone just one product when we got started. So to basically let you know that, 4.5 years has yielded, $2 million in earning is, I'm not trying to brag or be boastful, but it's the fact that it's possible when you believe, and you don't need to have experience, and you just need to draw from that conviction each and every day and each and every moment, especially when you're new and you can talk to people that you've known your whole life, or talk to people that you lived next to for years, or you have that belief and that conviction. It's not scaring people away when you're coming from a place that you just really believe in something, and you're not pushing it on them and that kind of thing. But when it starts to become a year later, and 2 years later, and 3 years later, and 4 years later, you're not talking to people that you know as much. You're talking to people out and about that you're meeting, that you're bringing from your cold market, we call it, into your warm market, however long that takes, that process of bringing somebody in. And you can differentiate whether or not you want to bring somebody into your warm market. You don't have to bring everybody in, to your warm market. But it's a process, and it's a dance, and it's almost like a courtship of you and that person getting to know each other. So I go out and just have zest for life on meeting people and being nice to people and friendly and engaging. And if I'm at a dance recital for my daughter, I'm going to try to get to know someone new, and I'm going to see if what I do every day. Monica's correct. I do go out and talk to at least 2 people a day, but oftentimes I talk to more. I don't necessarily talk about Miriam in the first moment that I meet them. I don't really go for that first kiss, or that, one night stand, or whatever you want to call it, on the first day that I meet somebody. It's really getting to know somebody over time and bringing them from not knowing to knowing who I am and what I'm about, and simply just asking, hey, are you on Instagram or Facebook? You're darling, or I love your energy, or you're so cool, or we have a lot in common, or whatever it is, that I'm meeting somebody at a coffee shop, or I'm meeting somebody at the soccer field today. And I basically, which I did meet somebody at the last soccer tournament that was in San Diego, which we didn't have to drive 2.5 hours to. But anyways, and we're still talking, by the way, soccer mom. But anyhow, so it's just one of those things where you are really, what I like to say is, your net worth is determined by your network. And you're always out building your network of people that you can refer business to, and you can do business with each other. You're out making, friends, and you're out making contacts. And, what was it the other day? I asked for a referral for somebody that does facials and things like that, because I really want to give business to somebody that does business with me. And luckily, my faceless I've had for many years, esthetician, I only see a couple times a year, but I've seen her for the last 4 years, and she's a brand partner, and she sees my skin, and she's like, man, your skin is just amazing. But she's a brand partner already, right? So she's doing her business. She's got her business. So I'm always looking for, and I told her, I said, I'm not cheating on you, but and I will always come back to you to have a facial, once or twice a year. But I really want to go out and try to meet more people. And I'm not saying you have to spend money to make money, but if there is a service that you are going to, need or want or value, think about doing business with somebody that's going to do business with you. And recently I switched to a different hairstylist, I should say. And same thing, I want to do business with people that want to do business with me. They don't have to become a brand partner necessarily, but I want to, again, see if they're interested in the hydrogels or the eye serum. And so this new hairstylist that I went to recently, it's only the second time I've been to her, I started showing her before and after pictures. And she right away said, I want to drive more revenue in this salon. And I said, hey, well, actually, the way you can do that is hydrogel and eye serum. And literally, we had a meeting that next Monday with her and her manager, and brought her in, signed her up. We had a big event and launched her salon on Saturday. And it was just phenomenal. I mean, it was amazing. And it showed her the potential of how she could generate extra revenue and income, diversifying what they offer by adding an add-on service. They're charging $30 to sit there while they're processing their hair with eye patches on. Then, of course, the before and after pictures that they're also providing them with. And also the eye serum after that. They have also, specials if somebody's going to sign up and things like that, or $5 off a haircut or whatever it is. I don't know specifics. I'm just giving you an example. But that is the kind of thing that is happening in my business later. And if you have been with Miriam for longer than a year and you have spoken to a lot of people that you already know, a great thing to do is really consider growing your own personal network to include a lot more people that are going to become part of that warm market. So it's a smoother transition when you're ready and the friendship's there and the credibility's there to talk about Miriam, because I think that's where we're, missing up a little bit, is just going straight for like people are targets and you need a customer and you need a brand partner and, getting NLC qualified. And that while that's important and getting NLC qualified is extremely important, and I'm super excited for everybody that has worked so hard to be NLC qualified. That's one thing. You just want to make sure that you don't become a weirdo. I say that jokingly, but it's just so true. You wouldn't just normally go pounce on somebody, referring them something at Target that you love. You might just throw it out there in conversation when you're talking with somebody at a barbecue or at a pool party or at a birthday party, but still have that passion and that conviction because the products obviously work. And that's what I really love, is that this company delivers products that are just so overvalued. I mean, we do not pay at all. Or excuse me, did I just say overvalued? they're I guess undervalued in a way. We should be selling a crap load more. But, they really should be pricier in cost for all the things that you're getting. And so at the end of the day, when I think about, whether or not someone tells me, oh, I don't know if I can afford that, I just think, you can't afford not to afford this. I mean, if you can't afford that, there's an opportunity I need to share with you, right? My mind automatically transitions to think, they really need this opportunity too. So I need to help tell them if they think they can't afford it. But bottom line is, they're selling me on the fact that they can't afford it, when I need to be selling them on the fact that this is going to save them money over time. It's going to give them better results than anything else will. My friend just confided in me that she's been spending $60 on this product forever that does nothing for her skin. Nothing. And I just said, wow, you could have bought one bottle of our product, for $100, including tax and shipping, or just our night cream. And that would have given you results in just maybe a month or two, right? However long it takes her to finish the bottle. And you would have seen something, and you've been spending $60 a month on something for a year and a half, and you're just now telling me this, So he finally came to me. It's like, I want to shake people. But at the same time, you can't do that. That would be a weirdo. You can't be a weirdo. Just have to take people from not knowing to knowing. So I'll get off this tangent, this soapbox in a minute. But I'm just trying to bring what's current to you and give you a little bit of background on how I guess I've been able to be, successful here somehow. You're probably thinking, if that girl can do it, wow, anyone can do this. But really, it is true. But really just bringing people from not knowing to knowing what they can save and value, and what they can save and what kind of results they can have, and the fact that they can, become a brand partner and earn their products for free. I mean, it's life changing when you can make an extra few $100, here and there. And even if somebody, spends $500 one time, but makes, $500 a year for the next 5 years, is it worth it? Heck yes, it's worth it. Somebody called me the other day and said, I put $500 in a stock, 3 years ago, and I just saw that I made $2,500, or excuse me, it's total at $2,500. So, she made $2,000, and I was like, rad, that's awesome, that's great. That's luck of the draw, right? It's a 50-50 chance, if that. Maybe it's more like 20-80. Who knows who's controlling what in the stock market, right? And there's so many things you can't control there. Versus here, you can spend $500 and you can invest it in a company, and you can invest it with products that actually work, and you can invest it based on you. You're betting on yourself to go out and share something that works, that's going to bring value to people's lives, and you can control when and how you make that $500 back. That's a brilliant concept to me. And you can make $500 a year minimally for the rest of your life, even if that's all you do, which is wonderful, right? For investing the $500 one time. So when I explain that in the Fast Start game plan, because that's really my topic today. I'm not just going to talk your ears off about all these random things. I do have a method to my madness. But, you know, when you bring somebody into the business, I focus on that and I highlight on that. And I give them that long-term vision, because we are here not to get rich quick, not to gamble, not to put $500 on the line to see what if. We are here to build a legacy for this person's family, whether that's $50 a month or $500 a month or $5,000 a month or $50,000 a month, you know, or more. You know, we just don't know how long it's necessarily going to take us to find the right team builders, the right business partners, you know, the clients and what the clients value and what the clients want. But I do know something, you have to be out opening your mouth and talking to people. And so the best way to do that is when you're sitting down with a baby brand partner, and if you yourself have been here for longer than 6 months and you want to treat yourself like a baby brand partner and you want to fast start qualify yourself all over again, because that is my personal goal. I want to fast start qualify myself each and every month. I want to wake up. I actually go to sleep the last day of the month at 10:01 p.m. and I think, who am I going to recruit this month? I literally right away right as I'm closing, you know, June. Okay, so June, the 10:01 p.m., the last day of the month, I was already thinking, who am I going to talk to? Who am I going to bring in July? So who am I going to talk to tomorrow? You know, so it's really about marrying the months and not just ending mentally on, okay, wow, just finished that month, didn't hit my goal or did hit my goal. And let me now get myself a 5-day break, you know, 10-day break, and let me procrastinate and run at the end of the month for whatever rank, you know, and position I want and whatever free products I want to earn, right? You really have to wake up intentionally that first day of the month, go to sleep that last day of the month, intentionally thinking, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to get my month started. And I'm going to be in control of what paycheck I grow. And I will tell you that it's harder to mentally calculate and grow a monthly check. Okay. It's much more, you know, attainable. It's doable. It's definitely something the masses, right? When you start to have a big team, and when everybody's working most of their lives and everybody's working overtime these days and everybody's working and so busy and we have no time, the masses, every one of us can throw in a couple intentional moments of our day. And it's not Facebook scrolling. I'll tell you right now, that's not how you're going to build a business. You know, it's listening to people on Facebook and reaching out to them and building a connection and a relationship and messaging them and wanting to build the relationship and providing something of value that could help them. I saw somebody post something on Facebook the other day, and because I don't like to scroll, it takes too much of my time. But I, you know, saw this thing that this woman had you know, her son had been really badly sunburned. And of course, it's listening and not, I messaged her and I said, listen, I saw your post and you may or may not have seen anything about my Nerium business. I don't want to assume that you have. I always like to say that. But I'd love to bring some by, or I'd love to get some to you as soon as possible, if you're open to that, because I can't make claims it's going to help your son's sunburn, but there are countless before and after photos of kids that have had amazing results, you know, with this product. 97% of it is practically aloe vera. You know, I like to just say that to the moms too. Very safe. You know, let me know when I could maybe pop by. And I have yet to have an experience like that where I'm trying to help somebody with something. I've yet to have anybody really turn me down. The only time really is when they said, you know, we're out of town, or we're not home, or whatever it is, you know, this weekend or whatever it was. But this last one, she said, you are so sweet and thank you so much, right? Whenever you're listening to somebody's needs and you can provide something of value, you're just building that relationship. And here in network marketing, it's definitely relationship marketing. And so that's really something that I like to, you know, point out as well. So anyhow, fast start game plans are really simple. We like to overcomplicate and make them more difficult than they are. They're really not that. The main thing is you want to transfer your belief as their leader. You're their sponsor, or you are an upline, you know, leader. You want to transfer your belief and your vision for being a part of the only company in history that has done what we've done in less than 6 years, the only company that has broken every record in network marketing. I mean, the only company that has ever done what we've done. The products are standalone products that they could literally be individual companies. Each product, that's crazy, patented, exclusive to us, lots of protection, lots of the barrier of entry is very high, so many things. That's what you're talking about in your Fast Start game plan. This person has already signed up, so you've already maybe planted those seeds on three-way calls, or you've closed them on the idea of that, or somebody in your upline has. But here's another opportunity for you to look them in the eyes and have it be genuine and heartfelt. I remember even, on a camp, international marketing director, maybe this is why she is an IMD, right? I remember her telling me, grab them by the wrist and look them in the eyes and tell them, that you're just so excited to grow their family's legacy for many years to come. And that you're so blessed and honored to work with them in this business and have them as a business partner. That's the kind of value you want to provide, and feeling you want to provide. So Fast Start game plans are supposed to be fast. They're not supposed to be hours long, right? I joke, but some of you we've all done it. We've all sat for hours doing a Fast Start game plan. So you want to make sure it's quick. None of us have a lot of extra time. This is beautiful that you have this training set up where everybody can tune in from wherever they are, doing laundry, listening, going to a soccer game, sitting in the car for a minute. It's really amazing that we are adjusting to the times. And so in a Fast Start game plan, that's it. Give them a quick plan. Making sure that two things come out of the game plan. Their list and their 2 launch parties, okay? Their list is the most important thing. Your list, if you're going to Fast Start qualify yourself this month, like I'm trying to do, right? And that's why the company, by the way, had the watch promotion. So many of us veterans have been around for a while. We said, oh, that's it. We just needed that little incentive to go for that watch, right? I'm showing off. I'm totally a one-upper today. But really, it's been awesome to not look at my phone 5 million times a day. I can now look at my wrist and go, oh, that's what time it is. Okay. Because, let's be honest, we waste a lot of time checking our time on our phone when we only want to check the phone for time, and we actually see text messages and notifications. So anyways, that's another topic, another training topic. We can talk about time management another time. But in that Fast Start game plan, they're making their list. And I give them a challenge. I say, put 200 names on this list, go through your cell phone, go through your Facebook contacts, and I give them a little something. I kind of incentivize them to put 200 names on their list. So if they tell me, oh no, I don't have 100 names, I go, really? What about for some hydrogels? Huh? Yeah? What would you do for 200 names, right? I kind of make it fun. And I kind of incentivize them to write 200 names. So it's not because I'm trying to, I'm just trying to prove a point. People will do anything for a why, I wanted this watch, okay? The month prior, I had brought in a couple brand partners, onto the team. And so I was starting to take them through their Fast Start game plans, launching them. So I didn't necessarily have as much intentionality on waking up that morning and going for those 2 brand partners the way that I brought in 7 1 month. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying a couple months before the watch, I had brought in 7. So I'm just saying that my whole point is that I was busy with 10 launch parties. So I just wanted to make sure that I could successfully be a good sponsor. I don't recommend bringing in 7 brand partners every single month. But if you do it, great. Just get some help. Call upon your upline and run, right? But however, they said, watch, my eyes lit up. Okay, game on. I did it. I wanted to do it before everybody else on my team. So they had that inspiration from the rest of the month. So my goal was to do it by that first Wednesday. I'm always shooting for a goal by that first Wednesday. This is what I cover in my Fast Start game plan as well. I highlight every Wednesday in their calendar. It's kind of a little bit highlighted already, but I really highlight it and circle it, and we talk, and I send I put an alarm in my phone to make sure that I'm talking to my babies before every Wednesday close. Because I want them to have a win. Just like Monica said, we want you to have a win. Even if you don't sign up a customer or a brand partner, by your Wednesday close, you can reset your sale to do it by the next Wednesday close, right? So again, we're just creating opportunities and more opportunities to have wins in this company. I love that they're so brilliant that they set up a Wednesday to Wednesday close and not just a month to month close. So in my Fast Start game plan, they write their list of at least 200 names. And we have a plan on what we're going to do with the people that live locally. We're going to invite them to the first launch RRP. If they can't come, we'll tell them about the second one. We don't tell them about the second one until they say they can't come to the first. And we're really excited. It would mean the world to me to have you at my launch party. You don't need to buy anything, I promise. I know people are tired of that sometimes. I just get the butts and excuses out of the way right away. But let's have a good time. It would mean the world to me that you were there. I'd love to see you, and then by the way, that morning of, you can text them or call them and say, I'm at the store, want to make sure I have your favorite drink, is it, 7-Up ? Cabernet ? Tequila? No, I don't know, nowadays it's youth factor. So we can sample that in small little Dixie cups, or you can throw it into a mimosa. At the salon event the other day, by the way, was a launch party at the salon. The only reason why it was an all-day launch party at the salon, is a little bit differently than we typically have launch parties in the homes, is because there's so many different people that were coming at different times that day that wanted to be a part of it and wanted to experience the Eye Serum demos and things like that. So I would not have a launch party be that long. Hers was 10 to 4 at the salon, but that's a very unique situation. Like I said, when you're going to sign up salons and you need advice, I'm happy to give you advice on what we've done. But what we did for the most recent launch party I went to for a baby the other night is we told people, that we just need to borrow your eyes. We need to, show up with little to no makeup if you can, after work. But we also had makeup wipes. And we said, we're just going to have fun. Just make sure you don't need to bring your wallet, but bring your eyes. That kind of thing. You can make it fun. You can make it cute. You can kind of pique interest. You don't need to tell everybody. We're going to put eye serum on your eyes, and we're going to take before and after pictures, and you're going to have incredible results in 2 minutes. I mean, don't overhype anything, because you want people to show up with little to no expectation and really be wowed. This is a wow product. The eye serum, the hydrogel patches, they really are just phenomenal, that you don't necessarily want to give away, the whole entire movie when you're kind of pitching the preview, that's kind of the essence, right? So making sure you're inviting all the local people to the launch parties is really crucial, with the exciting verbiage, texting them the day of or calling to make sure you have their favorite drink of choice. And so they are reminded, and so they know that this is a big deal to you and you're taking it seriously, that they should take it seriously, right? And honestly, making sure that you're sitting there as they call and invite a couple people. That's the trickiest part. And if somebody lives out of town, we do it over Zoom. I literally watch them as they make phone calls. It sounds silly, but it works. And I give them feedback every time they hang up the phone, or if the phone nobody answers, I give them feedback and steps on the next thing to do. So I really like being there for them as they make their first initial couple phone calls. You don't have to be there for every single phone call, every single invite. I just like to be there for a couple and provide support. And I don't have the time to sit there, for hours as they make phone calls. I just want to show them that I am supportive. Yeah, that was great. Keep doing it like that. Things like that. So, or just any sort of feedback. Pick up their confidence a bit. I'll even give them a little pep talk if they're a little nervous. Things like that. So the people that live out of town, we right away want to get on the phone and just give them some information with a 3-way. So scheduling 3-ways. It's amazing what can happen, again, when you're incentivized. And we will be incentivized out of conference. There'll be a great run. You'll be able to have a new tracker, I'm sure. Every conference we lead with a tracker. For whatever reason, if they don't, reach up to me, I'll provide one that we just make. We've handmade some trackers. I shouldn't say handmade. We've made them on the computer, but our own, I should say, for our team. Just to give you an idea, I can share what a couple look like, I believe, right here on my phone. I have a couple that I should be able to share. Let me see here. it's just slow because I have 9,000 photos and 900 texts. Okay, here we go. Here's a couple examples of just what the tracker looks like, okay, on a weekly basis. So we have a weekly checklist on making 2 exposures a day, fortunes and the follow-up, so follow-ups, getting samples out, hosting an RRP. That's just one example of a tracker. Another example of a tracker is this is the one we used in the fall. Okay, I don't need to necessarily focus too much on that. I'm just trying to tell you that what do those have in common with a fast start game plan? If you think about that, all we do every single month is the same thing we did when we first got started, or that we should have done when we first got started. It's the same activity. So 4.5 years later, people say, do you do the same thing you did, day one? Hell yes, I do the same thing I did day one. It's just with different people maybe, but success is being consistent over a long period of time. There's hardly any get rich quick quantum leap success stories. You just don't hear it. You don't, or if you do hear somebody that, wins the lottery, they've been trying for 30 years, usually, right? It's a very small, less than half a percentage, I'm sure. I should get the actual stat because Monica's probably looking it up right now, of people that actually have won the lottery on their first time ever trying it ever in their life, at 10 years old. Can't do it at 10 years old, but if you think about it, look at the majority of people that are successful. They stay the course, right? They stick and stay and get your pay. It's really important that you stay the long term, you're consistent, and the fast start game plan is or the tracker that we now use, 6 months later, is basically the same thing that a fast start game plan is. It's calling through your list, your book of list, your list is your book of business. If that's your client list, that is, show me the money, that's it right there. So you have to build upon that list. If that list is, as you think dried up, it's actually not. Every single new product that this company comes out with, because every single product is not subpar that this company comes out with, you can call through that list again. So if you've been around for, like me, 4.5 years, I'm calling the same people that I called to invite to my first RRP to tell them, oh my goodness, this next product, this use factor is flushing my entire system out. I have so much more energy. I completely feel like I've gone through a detox. I've had amazing results with use factor, so I can speak from that conviction. I work out a lot, so having the results that I've had from use factor is very impressive for me because it's less bloating and things like that. That I'm just experiencing less sugar cravings, absolutely. So when I'm calling people that were no's to the first 5 products for whatever reason, the first 7 products for whatever reason, the first 25 products, I guarantee you'll be successful with that first list, your first launch RRP on the 27th product, just because that's the product that they are drawn to, or it's a time in their life that they're finally willing to look at what you have, It's all about their timing a lot of the time too. And so we have to remember that. So stay the course, be consistent, fill out your trackers, and right now, fill out a tracker, start today, so you have a head start on the rest of the company that is not, our team is actually, our team is getting a leg up. We started our own tracker just leading up into conference because we know that conference, they'll come out with a new one. But to get into that pre-game activity, to get your head right, to get ready, start filling out your tracker now so you have a head start on, July 21st when we're released from conference, July 22nd. We're sent out into the world, all these Neriumites that are so excited, that have bulletproof Nerium vests on, that are just super fired up and super emotional. We've just tried the new products for the last couple nights on who you're going to call and who you're going to follow up with. Right now, part of your tracker could be people that you're going to call and say, hey, I know you've been a faithful, loyal PC in the past, or I know you've been a PC in the past, or you were a customer a couple of years ago, and I'm super grateful for you. Do you want me to put you on my list of people to call from my conference, my annual conference I'm going to in a couple of weeks? Do you want me to put you on my list of who to call about sharing the new product information with. And I'm getting a huge response for that, you know, and I have a separate list for that, which, by the way, you're the most excited at conference. You're most excited when you hear the information. So that's when you want to have your list ready to go to make calls. So it's just like tracking, but it's intentionally putting names on paper, right? I carry my clipboard and my tracker with me everywhere I go. And I actually have brand partner and preferred customer applications on it. That's another little tip I'm going to leave you guys with today on what I do with that. But my tracker is underneath my brand partner and my preferred customer. I have one hand holding my phone, one hand using my hand to talk to you and hold my clipboard. But I have my my sheets underneath, my tracker underneath my brand partner and PC applications. So I don't need everybody to see all these names on a tracker, that they're part of that, right? But I have it everywhere I go, literally. I mean, I'm kind of a freak about it. It's like I take it wherever I take my phone, basically. I don't necessarily go to the grocery store carrying my clipboard, but it's in my car. It's always in my car. It's so I can write my notes down so I don't forget. When I meet somebody, I've met like 4 people at the coffee shop the other day, and we were just having a good conversation, and it just was natural and it was easy. And I just basically said, hey, if you guys are ever in the market to, you know, taking an exercise class or a Pilates class or going on a hike or a walk, I'm super active and I'm always looking for people that just have that kind of energy or that want to experience new things and working out and things like that. It was a group of women. And a couple of them right then and there said, yeah, let's become friends on Facebook, Instagram. 2 of us are texting back and forth. One I actually met at the gym, and I got to see her again at the gym. So we're going to take a class together next week. Anyways, you know, I put them on my tracker right away because that right there, 4 people that I just met so quickly, I would forget about if I didn't write it down, you know, and the tracker has kept us focused. It's given people on my team that have been here for 3 years rank advancements. So I know the tracker works. I know that if you commit to a tracker, from now until we go to conference and we come out of conference, your business you will not recognize your business in 3 months. You won't. I mean, it's if you actually commit to it. I'm not talking you scrabble some names down once in a while, once every week or something. I mean, your 2 exposures a day, you're writing down your follow-ups, your bottles out, and you're actually posting it to your team page. You're sharing it with your upline leader. You're texting it to a group of you who are in an accountability group or in an accountability thread on WhatsApp. We have groups that do this every single week. They have their day that they post their weekly tracker, and they are like holding each other accountable. So if somebody doesn't do it, it's like, hey, you know, Susan, where's your tracker? Where's your tracker? Come on, come on. You know, 10 o'clock cutoff. Where is it? Where is it? It's 10:30 kind of thing. They joke and they have fun, but they're not going to leave any man behind. That's their concept, right? That's their philosophy. And we want to have the same thing here. You want to create a group, an accountability group, or your team page where no one is left behind that doesn't want to be, you know? So reach your arms up, let people know on your upline that you want a tracker, you want to start today. I can share mine, you know, of course, I'm sure Noelle has some, I'm sure Monica has some, I'm happy to share some as well. But, you know, it's just one of those things where you're going to have the right activity leading up into conference. So you come out with that head start. And the Fast Start game plan for baby brand partners, for those of you that are new and you're like, who is this woman talking about all these things? I'm sorry, but I'm just very passionate about this company and all the tools that we have to have success here. Your Fast Start game plan, you know, you can repeat, right? If you haven't launched your new products, you haven't done a new product launch at your house in a while, invite your friends over. If it's been a year or 2, invite people over and, you know, launch the newest products if you haven't done so. I just had a launch party. I always have RRPs actually, and I just had a launch party with our eye serum and our hydrogel patch combo party. And the reason why I did that is because my network doesn't know that they're not the newest products. I mean, Use Factor, yes, we all know that Use Factor is the newest product that we know. But my whole entire network, as far as they're concerned, and everyone I talk to, I always say, oh, our new eye serum, I mean, it's still new. Our new night cream, it's still new. You know, these are baby products. It's a baby product line. And I guarantee you, as our product line matures and develops, you know, it's just going to get better and better. And we're going to have, you know, I can't say it because then I'm going to be giving something away. Okay. Okay. Hopefully you're feeling my flow. You need to expand certain things. Yeah. Okay. This is being recorded, so I'm going to stop there. Anyways, fast start game plan. List and 2 launch parties. Those are the most important things I focus on besides transferring belief in a fast start game plan. I do not really do a whole lot more in a fast start game plan. I want bodies at their home party as quickly as possible. I want cheeks and seats, and I want to make sure I'm available to be the expert, or somebody that I trust is the expert at that party physically or zooming in, and it's a successful event for this baby brand partner. And if you're the upline but you didn't personally sponsor somebody in, treat them as if you personally sponsored them in. Okay? So I don't want anybody to have the mentality, well, I didn't bring that person in, even though they're on your team. It's like you want to pretend in your mind, I act as if everybody on my team is my personally sponsored person. Okay? So never forget that network marketing, relationship marketing is built upon 2 things: tools and events. Tools would be sharing your tools, sharing your magazines, sharing your iSerum sample, doing an iSerum demo, getting cheeks and seats, okay, would be the events. So tools and events. Getting tools out into the marketplace. You all know those real estate agents where you see their stuff everywhere, right? You see their magnets on your fridge. You see their ads in the newspaper. You see their, well, maybe not newspaper as much anymore. You see them on Facebook posting their houses, their open houses. I mean, there are some realtors that just have they promote themselves, you know, over and over and over. And some would say it's too much. I would say it's name recognition. You know, you want people to know what you're about and who you're about. For me, it's working out, my kids, of course, my husband, my faith, of course, Miriam. You know, I want people to know that I haven't gone anywhere. I love our company. I love our products. I'm super grateful for them. I'm super grateful for life, that I'm active. You want people to know what it is about you that makes you different than the rest of their network and why they need to go to you for anti-aging. Make sure you brand yourself as an anti-aging expert in time. I mean, it's going to take time to become an anti-aging expert, right? You don't just become a car mechanic expert overnight. You don't become a hairstylist expert overnight. Oh my gosh. I went to this one gal once, speaking of, who fried my hair. And then I asked how much experience she had. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I was one of her first people. Anyways. Okay. Again, it takes time to become more of an expert. And you want to treat this like a real legitimate career if you want to make executive level career income. If you want to treat it, if you want to make hobby money, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Treat it like a hobby. Have fun with it. No big deal. But for those of you on the line that want to really take your baby and your team to the next level, and you want them to be successful and you want to help them grow, it's not necessarily going to be a hobby for you. You know, you're going to want to make sure that person's successful. So there's a lot of responsibility to make sure that this person is successful. So the fast start game plan is essential. And then providing trackers and holding accountable to trackers, not telling people what to do. The best way to hold people accountable to trackers, and right now I have an accountability for people that want to lose weight. I have a diet bet that starts Monday. We actually weigh in today. The best way that I'm going to keep them accountable and for us to lose 4% of that body fat, body weight. People want to lose pounds that they want to lose, is we have an accountability group, and we're going to check in every day, right? There's no difference between that and this in business. You want to be successful in business, you got to talk to people. You have to open your mouth. You have to let people know you are open for business, right? And with this ground floor company, with only under 6 years under our belt, I can't imagine what the next 6 and 16 and 60 years are going to look like with this company that is making sure it's the #1 in anti-aging experts, health and wellness experts that we are becoming, we are in the process of becoming, are who people are going to need for the rest of their life. Okay? They will come to you when they start seeing that you are the one that knows more than they know. You have the research. You have the products, you have the testimonials, more importantly, of real people. You know, this is really, really important for you to understand. So your list is really important. It always will be. But meeting new people, putting them on your tracker, following up, getting product out so you can share those tools out in the marketplace, just like realtors do. You want to let people know where your territory lies. You want a team, let's say you love to visit, I love to go to New York City. So I intentionally asked all the people on my list of no's that told me no, I wasn't interested, because that no list is bigger than the yes list, by the way. I asked them all, well, who do you know in New York City that I need to know? That's how I have my team in New York City. That's how I got my first couple Lexus drivers in New York City, asking my list of no's, who they know. Got a couple Lexus drivers out there that are awesome and committed and going to go the long haul. And I love to go to New York City. So I get to go and write the trip off and work and now hang out with friends that I have business partners for life with, right? We have so much in common. It's a complete write-off. I took my 6-year-old I took my 8-year-old when she was 6 2 years ago. I had the trip of her life. She talks about it all the time. My son, who's 6 this year, gets to go on his 6-year-old trip to New York City later on. We're now making these, things that's what we put on their dream board so they get involved and they don't say, are you going to go do Nerium? They say, oh yeah, you got to go do Nerium because I want to be on my trip with you. Things like that they can also envision and shoot for. So it's a family, we're in family agreement. Yeah, is that a word? Yeah. Agreements. I was going to say, okay, I'm putting words together. This is when I need some more sleep. So anyhow, I'm going to let you guys go because I've been talking too long, but you all have trackers that Noelle's going to provide for you. Feel free to reach out with anything you guys ever need. I can't wait to see everybody in St. Louis. I don't say that lightly, by the way. Definitely feel free to reach out. Monica knows, Noelle knows. I will reply to every single message. Lori knows. It might take me a day or two, but I will reply to every single Facebook message, every single text message. Because like Monica said, I thrive off helping people that want this. I know I can make money doing it. You can always make money in life. You can always make money doing tons of things, right? I can make money just off my team. Fine, that's fine. I might not make $1 necessarily off you if you call me asking for advice. That's not what drives me. Yes, of course I need to pay my bills, so I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to give money away. I'm not going to give it back, I should say. I'm not allergic to it, but I am not driven by that and that alone. Okay, so that's why this is such a beautiful culture in this company, and that's why we're different, and that's why we're doing things that are different. We're breaking records because we do have the leadership that genuinely cares about making differences in people's lives. And I'm not tooting my own horn. This is Monica. This is Noelle. I know that I could call them in a second. They would call me right back, and they'd help me with anything I needed. I know Summer would do the same. It's the relationships that you do make in this life and in this world and in business that matter. And relationships do matter. So focus on that first, and you will have a very successful, business here in Nerium specifically, and you'll be successful in life if you do hone in genuinely on your relationships and not treat people like targets, but treat people more like numbers where you're just sharing information, and whoever sticks. Great. I tell people, hey, I don't care if it's for you or not. I just want to try it on you and see what we see. See what you think. Just really casual and cool, and no pressure. And that's part of what I do with my clipboard. My clipboard that I carry around with all my brand partner and PC applications. I've got Mexico, sombreros, Mexican flag, on my clipboard, because I tell people I'm in the running for earning an all expense paid trip. Those of you that have joined late and you can't necessarily get on this trip, there will be another trip. You can get a clipboard out. You can put a bunch of suns on it, or a bunch of waves, or umbrellas, or whatever you want on it. Not dollar signs, but put things that are value to you. Maybe even a little mini dream board, and say, put a picture of your daughter in her dance outfit. Put a picture of your son in his karate outfit on it. And say, I just am one customer away from, really earning something, a rank advance, a promotion. People like to know they're going to help you, towards a promotion. And that's really going to help me this month in helping my son get through his next karate belt. You don't know what this means for our family. Whatever it is, it could be a small thing. I'm not telling you to be desperate and push people. I'm just saying, hey, by the way, list up the applications. This is really going to help me, with this karate belt this month, or whatever it is. Let people know what they're helping you achieve and you accomplish, and they will be 10 times more likely to be a customer and experience and try, especially when it's 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. So I've walked into countless dentist office that I have a relationship with. You know, I shouldn't say countless, but my kid's dentist, you know, my mom's dentist, my dentist, my husband's dentist. We all go to different dentists. Hint, hint. There's a hint. I've walked in and talked to the staff, and I've said, hey, hi guys. Some of you may or may not have tried one of our products, but there's a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee, and I'm only one person away this month from qualifying towards my all expense paid trip. And they were like, oh yeah, give that to me, girl. Okay, yeah, what do you have? What do you have? Right? Think about it. When people put my daughter has Girl Scout cookies post on Facebook, are you going to actively go right to them and say, yes, I want them? But if they're going to show up at your door, or they're going to come over for a play date, or you're going to see them at school, and you're going to look them in the eyes and say, hey, we only do sell like one more box. You down to buy some cookies? I mean, there's a big difference, right? So anyways, okay, I talked too much. I'm sorry. You guys.
No such thing, Marielle. No such thing. You're a fantastic friend. I'm only nervous because I'm looking at the clock and I think your tournament started 15 minutes ago, no?
No, she's actually starting in, oh yeah, 9:15 right now. Okay.
Okay, go. Marielle, you are fantastic. Thank you so much. I've got lots of notes here. So jump off and we will sing your praises while you're gone. Bye. Hey, thank you guys so much. Listen, I would love to know, I've got some notes right here of what I got from it, but if you know how to use the chat feature in our Zoom, go ahead and put in the chat here what it is that you drew from Marielle's talk. If there was a specific quote or just a specific idea or concept, or, every time we hear a speaker, as much as anything, you're learning how they think and how they see things, and it can really shift and adjust how people see their own business. So I'd love to see in the chat section what it is that you took away from Marielle's chat. I took away a few things. One, and I'll have to tell Marielle later, I'm going to have to fire my hairdresser, which could present a real problem because she's my sister. So I'm going to blame Marielle for the family feud that resulted from her chat today. So that was definitely one thing. I love the stick and stay and get your pay. That is right on. One thing that I took away from her, and it's something that I've been personally really thinking on and meditating on, and was talking to our leadership about this, is Marielle has a crystal clear workflow. And what I mean by that is that, in any job that you have, whether you are in, a homemaker or you have a job outside of the home, you know what your job responsibilities are. You have a way in which you do your job. If you show up at an office, you probably have things that you always do, right in that first hour when you get there. And then usually you know what you're going to do before lunch, and then after lunch, there's a flow to business, and it keeps you on track. You don't bunny trail doing things that are not part of your job. And if you did, you'd probably be having a performance review and getting put on notice or being released, right? And I've always said, one of the things I learned early in my career in the direct selling industry is learn to employ yourself. And employing yourself simply means learning to show up and require of yourself what the least of the employers would require of you. Now, look, if you're looking for, hobby income, you can just sort of throw it at the wall, see what sticks, and go on with your day. I mean, the reality is that if you're looking for hobby income, your number one priority should be to have fun. It should be to get as much product for free as you can, and along the way, make some money. And if that is your goal, do it. Do it joyfully, and people will see that, and you'll be contagious. But if your goal is to create, a either hobby income or plan B, big in building a plan B income, or to make it your plan A sooner than later, I think what's most critically important when you're developing your why and understanding what it's taking to get there is just making sure that what you want is equivalent with what you're willing to contribute to achieve that goal. And that's something that we talk about in Fast Start Game Plans, is what do you want to get out of your Nerium business in the next 30, 60, 90 days, and be realistic about the work required to achieve that. Marielle talked about how, they're starting an accountability group to lose 4% of their body fat, which I should join that group yesterday. Summer I've thrown the baby out with the bathwater this summer. But what she basically said on there is that, 4% of your body fat, blah, blah, blah. Everybody does the math. Well, you know what? If you want to lose 10% in the next 30 days, it's going to look very different of a diet and a workout and, than losing, a few pounds. If you're wanting to lose 3 to 5 pounds, it's going to look different than losing 10 to 15, which is going to look different than losing 15 to 20. The time frame is going to look different. The sacrifices you're going to have to make are going to look different. Sacrifices in what? Sacrifices in what you put in your mouth. In our business, what you put in are the people that you allow to contribute into your life, positive or negative. That's the consumption in our business, right? What you physically do, which is, what you physically, the amount of weight, the amount of, minutes or hours you're going to run or cycle or do yoga or whatever it is that you're going to do, the physical activity. And in our case with Miriam, that physical activity are those exposures. It's getting product into people's hands, it's sending tools out, and it's getting those people in front of other things. That is the physical exposure aspect. So, and even in the realm of consumption, there's what you do eat, but probably more importantly, what you don't. And in our business, again, it's what you intentionally allow to influence your thinking, both positively and also what you avoid negatively. And then much of that is the self-talk that Summer talked about earlier. So anyways, I'm grateful for Marielle. As you can see, she's got clarity on her workflow, and she comes at this from the place of who she is and what she's doing. And leaders invite people to journey with them, and that is exactly what she has done. So that was really, really good. So my clear workflow, that was something I took away. I got to get a new hairdresser. I definitely took that away. John said she looks cute in a hat. So that's something that definitely impacted me because she does. She looks darling. I wish I did. I have a noggin of a head, so I can't wear hats. And, measuring activities and the law of averages. I just want to review something. If you're new to personal development, you're new to Miriam, I highly encourage you to go out and you can find it on YouTube or you can borrow it from a brand partner. It was included in our kit. But there's a audio series called Building Your Network Marketing Business with Jim Rohn. Fantastic audio series and lessons. And you can really pull up any Jim Rohn lesson. You'll gain incredible value. Jim Rohn was the first that basically said it's your philosophy first and foremost that determines your success. And one of the things he talks about in his Building Your Network Marketing Business is something called the law of averages, which is just simply knowing your batting average so that you know what you need to do to achieve the goal. As Marielle said, there's more no's than there are yeses. That's just inevitable. But you have to know, for every, 5 people I talk to, I'm going to get 1 customer. Maybe it's every 10 people you talk to, you're going to get 1 customer. Maybe it's 15. The name of the game is knowing the averages for yourself so that you put a path so that you get the results that you want and improving your averages, getting better at it, right? So if you go, gosh, everybody I sample gives me the bottle back and says it didn't work for them, you probably need to get some coaching on how you can set the expectation properly for sampling. How about everybody I put onto a 3-way call or try to put on a 3-way call, I never get them back on the phone or I can't make the 3-way call happen. This is about improving the swing, okay? So if we were in golf, it's not about the club, it's not about the glove, it's not about the ball, it's about the swing. This is about improving the swing. We've got the right equipment, you got to just improve the swing, and that's where times like today come into play. So anyways, what I'd like to do, I do have a few thoughts on closing our time today because I do want to wrap it up here. I believe that people appreciate when you're brief and on point. However, if there are like huge pressing questions, I will take 3 questions, okay? So if you go, Monica, talk to me more about this. I'll give you a minute, but if you can write down 3 questions. And in the meantime, I'm going to kind of give you your action plan, leaving our regional here for today, okay? First and foremost, Marielle said it at the end of her call, which is make sure you're ready for conference, whether you're going or not. And I hope after today you make the decision to find a way to be there. The 2 products that are going to hit the market are going to be phenomenal. And again, I'll say to you what was said to me, you get a 6 to 12 month advantage in your network marketing business, in your Miriam business by being at the big event. And the other thing that you get is you build a culture of events being an instrumental critical part. And you want to duplicate that in your organization. If you don't go to events, people won't go to events on your team. So you want to be there. So me make sure no questions are coming up. Okay, so number one, conference prep. Apart from shopping for what you're going to wear, which I'm not going to lie, I've taken some time this week to do that. You want to make sure that you are ready with your list. And what I mean by that is you want to have two lists. You want to have a list of prospects that said that you've introduced to Nerium in the past that maybe haven't gone anywhere. And you want to ask those people exactly as Marielle stated, hey, I'm actually heading out to our conference. We've got some new products that are launching, some new incentives that are launching. Are you okay if I just kind of keep you up to date on what we're going to be doing at that event? So you want to make a list of prospects, maybe previous people who have not said yes to Nerium yet, okay? The second thing is a list of your customers, past, current, or past or present customers, of people that you want to introduce to the new products. You know, the products that Nerium launches, the idea is that they are products that your existing customer base are going to be interested in. So you want to let them know, hey, a new product is coming to market in a couple of weeks. Can I go ahead and put you on a list to inform you as I get new details on the product? So ask for permission. And then the third list you want to make is a list of people that maybe you haven't talked to about Nerium yet that you want to put into your pipeline. Exposures, this is not going to be a training on prospecting, although I do see that there's a question here and I will talk to it in a moment. But recruiting is a 4 to 6 exposure process on the low end, meaning 4 to 6 touches where you're moving people from not knowing to knowing. And it's you'll get better at it the more you do it. If you go, I'm not good at A, B, C, D, just do more of it. You'll get better at it. Trust me on that. But what you want to do is begin a process so that you are set up to come back from conference and actually have people in your pipeline ready to go as customers or ready to go as brand partners. The idea is not sit on your hands until July, 20th and then pick up the phone and call people. Trust me when I tell you, you're going to want to walk out of conference and be ready to pull the trigger with people. So if it's a 4 to 6 exposure process, an exposure is just an event or an activity or something that takes them from not knowing to knowing. So, an initial conversation's exposure 1, a video's exposure 2, a sample's exposure 3, a 3-way call's exposure 4, getting them to an event, an event in your living room, an event in the market, an online event, that's exposure 5, maybe another 3-way call, that's exposure 6, maybe another video, that's exposure 7. The reality is that people say yes to their Nerium journey when on a scale of 1 to 10, their interest level is around an 8 or a 9, they'll say yes to you. And your goal is simply to move them through that cycle. I will give you one little tip, which is this. It's not just about 4 to 7 exposures. It's about 4 to 7 exposures in a condensed period of time. This is huge. You've heard it said many a times, probably if you're not new to Nerium, that the fortune is in the follow-up. Clarified, the fortune is in the immediate follow-up. You want no less than 48 to 72 hours in between exposures. Now, if I give you a bottle, today is Saturday, and I give you a bottle today, I want to make sure I have another touch, another contact, maybe put you in a 3-way call by Monday. Okay, we're not going to wait. So often I hear people say, well, I gave a bottle to my sister-in-law. I'm going to wait and see if she likes it, and then I'll put you on the phone. I think you have missed the point. You want her to want to like it. And the reality is that if she's looking for it to work, she'll find things to prove that it is. If she's looking for it not to work, she'll find things to prove that it isn't. Do not be mistaken. I'm not saying there's a placebo. I'm saying that we have the capacity to see what we want to see and the capacity to ignore things that contradict our belief. I've said it before. If you've, decided I'm going to go for that Lexus, and you start dream boarding and you go, I'm going to get a GS 350 in silver. You're all of a sudden driving down the road going to realize how many silver GS 350s are on the road. You'll be shocked. You're like, I had no idea there were so many. They were always there. You simply develop the capacity to see it. When you take somebody that's trying the product and prior to them drawing a conclusion, give them evidence, give them a reason to want to like it, what they'll do is they'll start looking for the things that they can notice that are working. They'll go, my skin isn't perfect, but it's definitely softer. I still have these lines around my eyes, but gosh, this little one dark spot just seems a little bit lighter to me than it did before. My skin, I can still see, the wrinkles, but I think my skin looks brighter. At least that's what my husband told me, so it's not perfection, but they'll begin to look for signs that it's working. And getting them an exposure prior to getting that product back helps to influence their desire to see the results that they that conclude, yes, Nerium's working, versus the opposite. Okay, so it's 4 to 7 exposures in a condensed period of time with 48 to 72 hours in between. The question here on the screen from Susan is, how do you talk to people about the business? Well, I'm going to give you 2 scenarios regarding talking to people about the business. One is you haven't talked to them at all, and you want to talk to them about the business. The best thing to do is just shoot straight. You can say, hey, I'm working on a project. It's expanding in this area, or I'm looking for some strategic business partners, or, you want a why. There is an art to inviting. In fact, I'm going to pull up a document. Well, I hope I have it on here on my laptop. There's an art to inviting, and the inviting process basically starts with, kind of why you thought of them. And then it's an if I will you kind of ask. So to kind of model that for you, it was, hey, were you serious when you said you were looking for kind of a way to create an extra income stream so you don't have to have a second job? Or were you serious when you said you wished you could send Junior to that private? Or were you serious when you said, it's time for you guys to start saving for a family vacation? Or, so the why. Or, I've noticed how hardworking you are, how diligent you are, how committed you are, kind of a compliment or a reason why that they made it onto your list. So start with kind of a compliment or a reason why they made it onto your list, and be genuine, be sincere. The second part is to let them know what you're looking for. I believe in asking for what you want. And if you miss, you'll still get yourself a customer or a referral. And it is in that order for me. If I'm looking at a bullseye, the bullseye is I would like another person as committed to this as I am. That is my goal. I'm going to ask for it. Okay. If I miss, then I'll go for my second rung on that, which is a customer. And if I miss, I'm going to ask for some referrals. And so that's the philosophy. And then you would do that even if you were in real estate or you were in finance, right? You would do that. You would do that in any business that is a referral-driven business, right? So that is the idea. So when I make that initial introduction, it's just that simple. Hey, I've thought of you. I'm working on a project expanding in their area. Were you serious when you said you were looking for a way to get kids into private school or create a retirement income or so forth? And then, it's a yes or a no. If you're nervous about making that introduction, don't be afraid to write yourself a script and read it. When I started, I've been in the industry for about 9 years, and my prior company, I had a gentleman who got started, and he was in ministry, and he really wanted to create an income stream that would make him kind of independent, where he wouldn't have to require support. He just wanted, kind of tent making rather than fundraising. And so he actually wrote a script. I suggested to him, I said, why don't you write a script? And there's a kind of a formula for inviting. And I said, why don't you write out what you want to say to people? So he wrote a message out, and he called somebody, and he said, hey, the reason I'm calling you is, remember how I told you that Marilyn and I, we're looking to create an income stream, or we've always said we wanted to create an income stream so we could be self-funded. Well, we've come across something that I believe is going to give us the ability to do that. And I was looking for some people that I feel like would be a great fit, or strategic business partners, and I thought of you. Very simple. And then it's just, if I will you. If I gave you some product and information, would you be willing to take a serious look at it and give me your feedback? It's that simple. So that is the invitation. Usually, they're just going to go one or two ways. Sometimes you'll get a resounding, yes, absolutely, you bet, send it to me. More often than not, they're going to start giving you all the reasons why they're not a fit. And it's just, we're simply trained to do that. So they'll start with, well, I don't know that many people. I'm really busy right now. I've got family coming into town. I'm not a salesperson. I wouldn't feel comfortable talking to people, blah, 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 right? Just know that that's going to happen. And when you know that's going to happen, you won't be taken off guard when they say it. And I always do that. I understand, and it may not be for you, but I hear you loud and clear. I felt that way as well. However, and literally, you might have to ask 3 times in a really nice way. And you might just leave it with, listen, I'm just asking for your feedback. You may very well take a look at it and it may not be a fit at all. Tell me this, will you promise to tell me if it's not a fit? Because I won't let you do it if it's not a fit for you. But you might know somebody that it is a fit for. If you'll notice, it's not about magic words, it's a posture. It's a posture of, I will not allow you to say no until you've taken a serious look at it. I will tell you, if I to determine one thing that has distinguished my recruiting from maybe other people's, is that it's the confidence and the initial exposure of not taking no to a look easily. Is listen, if you take a serious look and it's not for you, listen, you and I will both agree on that, and I will not allow you to do it. But I'm just asking for you to take a serious look. I've always called it showing people the big boy menu. How many times have you gone to dinner with a group, right? And you sit down at the table, there's 6, 8, 10 of you, and a couple of people go, oh, I'm not hungry, I'll just have a tea. And then the food starts showing up, and that person who's not hungry stealing fries off your plate, you know who you are. Right? They're stealing fries off your plate, or they're going, you know what, can you give me that menu? Why? Because the food comes out of the kitchen and they thought they weren't hungry, but all of a sudden they start smelling it and seeing it and salivating, and they go, I was hungrier than I realized. I drive my husband crazy because he'll come down and be like, hey, I'm going to make myself a salad. Would you want some? And I'm like, nah, I don't want any. And then he sits down to eat a salad, and I get a fork out and go stick it in his bowl. He's like, hey, I thought you said you didn't want any. I'm like, well, I didn't, but then it looks so good. And aren't you going to save me some? That's the philosophy of recruiting, is you want to, listen, take a taste. If you take a taste and you don't like it, I won't make you eat the whole plate, but you got to take a bite. Let me give you a bottle. Let me give you the video. Take a look at it. That is my approach to recruiting. So that's how you do it when you're making an initial exposure and you're opening the conversation and you're leading with, you're not so much leading with the business or leading with the product. There isn't a business that there isn't a product. I believe they're even-handedly presented. So the second scenario is your customer base. You probably have a base of people who have either tried the product, ordered it, maybe haven't ordered it yet, or current customers. Now, Nerium recently announced that 3 or free is going away for customers. So what's great is if you've got customers right now that have kind of been swimming around the boat about trying to get their product for free, or looking to become a brand partner, now's the time to have the conversation with them to go ahead and come on board, because they can upgrade to a brand partner. They get a tax write-off. It's kind of a no-brainer. I did a Zoom about a month ago now, called Show Me the Money. And what I aimed to do in that, it was specifically targeted at customers, is what I aimed to do is kind of to paint a picture for people about why they should consider the brand partner opportunity if they're only a customer, because there's just so many reasons to say yes. There's no risk. If you know you love the products, there's no risk. Worst case scenario, you're buying a pack with products at a deep discount, and now your personal, addiction can become a tax deduction. When your addiction is a deduction. I think that's a new term. So that was a great, way. So if Susan, if you want to go and check out the Zoom here, it looks like Sunny just put the link on. It was a Show Me the Money, and it was specifically for customers. That will kind of give you the kind of concept that you want to roll out to your customers is, hey, you already love the products. Are you open to taking a look at the business of Nerium? I understand it may or may not be for you, and you'll know as soon as you take a look. That is always a great way to say, hey, I'm asking you to take a look. I'm giving you a way out after you take a look, but I don't want you to take a way out until you take a look. So, that is a great approach. So, Sunny, I hope that helps you. Susan, I hope that helps you kind of know how to either introduce the business or kind of convert a brand partner or customer into a brand partner. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up. Just a couple things for you. Prep yourself for conference. Have your list of customers, brand partners, and prospective people that you're going to let them know as announcements occur. I think that's critical. Develop your workflow for the summer. If I can give you one little summer tip. If you are like me, summers are crazy. You're here, there, everywhere. You're at the swimming pool. We're at the lake house. We're, traveling to Houston. We're, going to conference. Kids are out of school. So, it's hard to be as efficient because Let me say this. It's hard to get a lot done in a day. Actually, efficiency becomes easy when you're short on time because you're forced to major in the majors. Do what has to be done, and you probably have less filler time that you're wasting. But let me encourage you to get what I call a power hour, and this would be your workflow for the summer. Okay, you ready? Here's your power hour. You're gonna identify 1 hour a day where you're just gonna be super efficient in your Nerium business 5 days a week. 1 hour. Now, your power hour is gonna look a little bit different if you have a team versus if you are building, just getting started. Your brand partner, senior brand director is going to look a little bit different than if you are senior director, executive, regional, national, right? So I'm going to talk about it from the most fundamental rank, which is senior brand partner. Okay, your power hour is condensing the necessary activities to move your Nerium business into a short little spurt. Okay, first things first is focusing always on you. Spend 10 minutes reading a few pages of a good book. If you're a fast reader, you'll get more done. If you're a slow reader, you'll get very little done. It doesn't matter. It's been 10 minutes. So 10 minutes on sharpening your axe, like they talked about. Abraham Lincoln said, if I had an hour to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first, or 4 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 3 hours sharpening my axe, right? So sharpen your axe. The first thing you want to do is, spend 10 minutes getting your head straight. One of my mentors used to call this getting into the zone, which is you want to kind of get into, if you ever seen a boxer, they come out, they've got their headphones on, or Michael Phelps, you saw the Michael Phelps kind of grill, that like mean, gory face he makes. He's got his headphones on, he's got his hoodie up, and he's like all like this. He's getting in the zone. He's getting in the zone to get in the water and be a beast, right? Okay, get yourself in the zone. Whatever it is that inspires and motivates you. If it's 10 pages of a good book, do that. If that intimidates you, go to YouTube and find a video. A few keywords that will always work for you. Slide Edge. Not only will you find videos on Jeff Olson talking about Slide Edge, you'll find other people giving feedback on Slide Edge. 10 core commitments. Go look at a video on 10 core commitments. YouTube. Nerium training is not the only place you're going to get coaching on 10 core commitments. You can put in Jim Rohn. You can put in John Addison. You can put in Napoleon Hill. There's a number of things that you can do, but go watch 10 minutes video, 5 minutes of a video to kind of get yourself into the zone. Okay, so that's your first 10 minutes. Then your next 20 minutes is doing follow-ups to people that have product. When I sit down with a brand partner, and you know who you are, you may or may not be on today, but it drives me crazy every time. When I go, put me on more three-ways, they pull out a spiral notebook and there's lists of names of people who have bottles right now. I want to throw up. Because I know you've got a short period of time from when you put a sample into somebody's hand to do a follow-up if you want to get conversion. If you have a list right now, take inventory, write a list of people who have a sample of yours. Go ahead. If you have not gotten them an additional exposure, today is the day. Take 20 minutes when we get off of this call and do follow-ups, okay? Just even if it's something as simple as, hey, I'm so sorry I've been out of touch. I've been out of town. Hey, I want to touch bases with you on how that Nerium product is working for you. When can I get 5-10 minutes of your time? That's it. It's a simple text message. You got 20 people trying products. You got 30. You got 2. You want to send that text message. Hey, sorry I've been out of touch. I wanted to touch bases with you, see how that Nerium product's for you. When can I have 5-10 minutes of your time? Okay, so so you want to spend about 20 minutes doing your follow-up. And then you want to spend 30 minutes getting new business into the funnel. So whether it's pinging people on Facebook to get a telephone number, whether it's calling somebody, but basically you want to do follow-ups. Now, if you have a team, your first 30 minutes is about personal, your 10 minutes, that kind of little punch that you need to get in your zone, 20 minutes of follow-ups, and then maybe maybe it's 15 minutes of new exposures and 15 minutes on checking in on your team. But my point is, even if during that time what you do is set appointments for the next day, maybe you're not super duper productive. I have found that if I'm trying to get on the phone with a brand partner, I have developed a bad habit of saying, hey, can you talk right now? And sometimes that works, but it's not terribly efficient. So you might be better off scheduling something for the next day. But get a bit of a workflow. Get that power hour where you sit down and your goal is to move the needle on your business. Either get new people into the look, take people who are in the look to the next level, and then touch bases with the people on your team. The priority is new starts, then people in their fast start window, and then your core worker bees. So those are the priorities in following up with people. So get yourself into a summer rhythm. Focus on measuring activities, or measuring activities, not results. Keep short accounts, and be at the next regional. So with that, you guys, thank you so much, Noelle, for coordinating this. I know it was no small thing, and just huge thanks to Noelle, to Summer Sanford, to Marielle Filipponi, and also to Melissa Mazza for just being transparent and sharing her kind of Nerium journey with us. It is a thrill to do this. I think this is a great, nice alternative for busy seasons. And so I'm excited about this, and hopefully we'll do more of them. And with that, Noelle, if you're on, I'll give you the last word. Take it away.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, too, for taking an entire Saturday morning. And I just wanted to quickly kind of announce, because a lot of our team and our sister cousin team is on here. And next month, I will hopefully have already had a baby. That'd be great if it would come a little early. But Trisha Caputo is going to be doing our August regional, and I'm really excited about it. And we've already talked a little about fun formats. Anyway, so show up. It's going to be at our normal location next month. It will not be a Zoom regional. It will actually be a physical regional. And as always, remind you guys, we have coffee and yummy food to bribe you to get there. So thank you for giving up a Saturday morning, even if it's in front of your computer. And I hope this is beneficial. It was beneficial to me for sure, and very encouraging and very motivating. We are already designing that tracker, just even because we know the company's going to roll out something amazing in a couple of weeks, but we're going to have an interim tracker that we'll be posting on Extreme Team. And if for some reason you're not a part of Extreme Team, I know a lot of us sister cousin team is, but if you're not, then just reach out to either myself or whatever, somebody, and we'll get it to you. So thank you guys for your time, and you have an awesome Saturday. Bye.